Friday Night Rivals pregame show is sponsored by Food City.
Hello and welcome to week 2 of Toyota's Friday Night Rivals presented by Holston Medical Group. This is the Food City pregame show. Tonight's game features Daniel Boone and West Ridge. This will be the first ever meeting between these two schools. We're going to start talking about the home team tonight, West Ridge. They won big last week over Volunteer, but their head coach Justin Hilton says there's plenty for his team to improve heading into tonight's game.
We're always happy to come out with a win. There's a lot of things we need to clean up, fumbles, penalties. We made a lot of mistakes. Hopefully, it's the old first game to second game improvement, but not having the third scrimmage probably had something to do with that. So, we're expecting to be much better game 2.
You mentioned the performance between game 1 to game 2, the old adage that's the team makes their biggest improvement. Why is that the case? And as coach, do you feel like that is the case, or is that just one of those coaching cliches that always gets tossed around?
I think it's the case. I think that you can never factor in nerves. You can never factor in the crowd. You can never factor in the first time when it's dark and the lights are on. So I think that there's a lot of reasons for that, but in our case with a sophomore quarterback, then that's going to be even more so the case, I believe.
What were some bright spots from your performance on Friday night? Who were some players that stood out for you?
Cale Bryant played really well. He had 4 touchdowns and all kinds of yards. I thought Trey Frazier did a good job at quarterback. Had it through a touchdown, snuck one in, managed the game well. Caleb McLean played well, and then defensively, Hunter Hawkins had his first start. He had 2 interceptions, and our secondary as a whole played pretty good.
This week you have a first time playing Daniel Boone. Unfortunately, last year's game was not able to be played due to COVID. What's that like playing a new school for the first time? I know very familiar with the coaches over there and some of the players, but for West Ridge, Daniel Boone, this is the first time they've ever played each other.
I think it's exciting. It's close proximity, so it should be a good rivalry, classification aside. And Jeremy does a good job. So, we're expecting a tough, physical Daniel Boone team to come in and let us kind of know where we stand physically. And I think it's going to really help us as we move into our conference games.
Certainly any team posts a shutout week 1 defensively, they're going to be pretty strong.
Yeah, and I don't know if anybody scored on them in any scrimmage that they've played in either. So, Jesse McMillan was telling me, he's volunteer, he said, I don't even know if we crossed the 50. So, it's going to be a challenge for us.
How about under the lights again on Friday night, another big game, first-time opponent. Saw some pictures last week. Looked like it was a packed house up at the Ridge. Certainly, I'm assuming you're expecting the same thing this week.
We're expecting the same and probably more. Like I said, our fans always do their part. They come out, and I know Daniel Boone will have a good following, especially with the excitement of the seniors and what their expectations are this year. But if you've never been to a game there, I think it's going to be a treat.
What's been like going into year 2 of this program? I know, year 1, there's the newness coming together, but how important is it to kind of keep that going and not be sort of like a one-hit wonder, so to speak?
Yeah, really important. The second year's been much more calm, much more routine. We were moving stuff last year all the way up until the first game. The guys didn't know what to expect from each other. Our coaches' staff didn't know what to expect from each other. So this year's been much more of a routine and more like seasons that we've been used to in the past. But the newness is still there. I mean, every time we go out and we see these brand new, nice facilities, I mean, it's a pleasure to be there.
For Daniel Boone, what do you expect from them offensively, what you saw? I know they scored on special teams. They had a shutout, but offensively, what do you expect from Daniel Boone?
Quarterback's a really good athlete. They like to get him out in space. He's a good runner, throws it well too. Good speed at receiver, strong running back, really strong offensive line. I think they want to run the ball first and then throw off play action. And that's where they get their chunk plays a lot of time. When you start creeping up on the run, they'll throw it over your head.
How would you describe your offensive outlook this year with the changing with the new quarterback and Trey Frazier? How different is your offense from a year ago?
Very multiple. We're still going to be in the tight compressed sets, but with Trey, we'll spread it out a little bit more also and try to get the ball out to those receivers. I feel like we got 3 or 4 good running backs that we can roll in there, and our biggest advantage offensively is none of our offensive linemen play defense, so we can keep those guys fresh as we go through.
What's the 1 or 2 things that's going to be critical for you guys to do to get a win on Friday night?
Not turn the ball over, and we're going to have to win the kicking game. You talked about they scored a touchdown on special teams. We cannot have any big blow-ups on special teams that give them some kind of motivation or momentum going in early on in the game.
Are special team mistakes something that happen more frequently, you think, earlier in the season?
I think so, because I think a lot of coaches, and I'm probably guilty of this too, put so much emphasis on getting their offense and defense installed. Special teams kind of take a back burner, and that's a real shame, because that is the big momentum plays of the game that can turn it around.
Coming up next, we're going to catch up with Daniel Boone head coach Jeremy Jenkins and get his thoughts on his team's first ever game against West Ridge.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great Friendship deals. We have 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh. I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
All trophies and plaques for WCYB's Friday Night Rivals are provided by Eddie's Trophies and Gift Shop in Bristol. Eddie's Trophies also offers medals, plaques, acrylics, glass, and crystal pieces for your business, school, or sports team. That's Eddie's Trophy and Gift Shop online at eddiestrophies.com.
Does your company need to hire more than 10 new employees and you can't find qualified candidates? Are staffing needs keeping you from meeting the demand for your products or services? Human Resource Directors, let us fill your open positions. Our solutions can be tailored to all industries and businesses, small and large, manufacturing, healthcare, warehousing, transportation, construction, and more. Combining the power of television with targeted digital solutions, WCYB will speak directly to the candidates you need, wherever you need them. We'll showcase why you are an employer of choice. We send qualified candidates directly to your application portal from the Tri-Cities or nationwide, or for any other locations you may have throughout the country. Call WCYB today, or use the on-screen QR code to connect directly with us. We're ready to relieve your staffing needs today.
Daniel Boone is coming off a 26-0 win over South Green in their season opener. The Trailblazers scored points on offense, defense, and special teams. Veteran head coach Jeremy Jenkins liked what he saw in week 1, but also knows there's plenty for his team to clean up ahead of a big challenge tonight against West Ridge.
I thought our effort was really good. I thought we were really physical in the line of scrimmage. Always you make your most improvement from week 1 to week 2. So we're hoping we can clean some things up. We had way too many penalties. We had 3 touchdowns called back the first half. So, some things we've got to work on. But all in all, I liked our effort, and I thought we were physical in the line of scrimmage, which is what we wanted to do going in.
You've been around coaching a long time. Why do teams make their biggest improvement between games 1 and 2? What is it about that? Why you see that big jump?
I have a lot of jitters and anxiety as far as wanting to get out there and play, and sometimes if you can't channel that, you'll make a little bit more mistakes than you're just amped up mistakes. So, seeing that on tape and them seeing that, and then going to the next week, they see that what they can get corrected, and hopefully we can do some of that stuff this week.
What did you learn about your team's maturity having to handle playing on a Saturday afternoon rather than under the Friday night lights? How did they handle that?
Well, we were worried coming in, but we knew so far out in advance, we let the kids know and really, did a really good job, our staff did, preparing them for that. I thought our kids, we had a really good work of preparation that week before. Saturday was, coming in early and team breakfast and stuff, and then I thought our kids, really took it in stride.
Defense pitches a shutout, special teams scores, you got field goal, block punt, offense scoring. What it was like to see all 3 units kind of clicking there in game 1?
Very seldom does that happen early on. Usually one group dominates the other. Defensively, we've got 9 seniors over there on that side, and a lot of leadership that that group's going to carry us all year. We expect when we come out to play physical and to try to keep people out of the end zone as much as we can. Our special teams, Ben Shrewsbury handles all the kicking for us, and he's second to none. We had 4 or 5 touchbacks. He's 1 for 2 field goals, all these extra points. Had 1 punt, then we blocked the punt and pressured on other punts, and then offensively, we had over 360 yards of offense, and we had 3 touchdowns called back. We just got to get a little bit more consistent. Got way too many penalties. We get that cleaned up. I really like how our kids really came out the first game, though.
Even though this is game 2, it'll be your first Friday night game. Do you anticipate maybe the Butterflies being there again, so to speak, early, just being the first time under the lights?
Possible that could happen. You know, it's a rivalry game. You know, we could not play Sullivan South 2 years ago because they kind of were under the weather. We were under the weather last year with Westridge, so now we've not played them in 2 years. And you know, Crockett, Westridge, and Science Hill, you know, you look at those as being kind of your most neighboring schools, being our three main rivals here. So, you know, I know our kids will be excited going over there because it's, you know, what I've been told, the greatest, you know, high school atmosphere right now around as far as people coming and student involvement to go to play somewhere away is Westridge. So, you know, we're excited about going over there.
How about the expectations for this team? You know, with a large senior class, I think there are a lot of expectations, I'm sure, inside the program, but also on the outside, that this could be a special year for you. How did you handle or manage those expectations with the team?
We got 21 upperclassmen. We got 19 juniors and 21 seniors. We know that expectations come with that. These kids that are seniors have played, a majority of them have played since they were sophomores. So we know, you know, first and foremost, our conference is our most important thing. We want to host playoff games here because, you know, especially late in November, early November, you know, coming here is a hard time. Is usually a hard place to come play. We were hoping we can go a little deeper than we have in the last couple of years. And of course, you got to be, you know, injuries play into that. You know, knock on wood, we've been okay with that. But you know, like I said, we would like to. We've been to the quarterfinals. That's the furthest we've been here. We would love to take that next step, if you know. But like I said, a lot of good things got to happen. Good things got to line up for you. So, you know, like I said, we're just hoping we can get there one game at a time.
So what do games typically come down to when it's two teams that both want to be very physical?
Negative plays and turnovers in equal teams is going to come down to it. And, you know, I think they think that they want to be physical and we want to be physical too. So it'll be one of those games where I think if you're watching it at home, you're going to wish you were there.
Coming up next, we're going to go inside the numbers on tonight's game between Daniel Boone and Westridge as the Food City pregame show rolls on.
I'm Chili Billy Jones. That was me as a baby. Cute, right? Now, ever since I can remember, I've loved chili. You can probably tell. Especially Pal's Chili Burger. One tasty all-beef patty, covered in chili, cheese, and onions. I'm a big fan. Even got my own chili bits, all ready for the occasion. It's Chili Billy time.
Chili lovers rejoice. The Chili Burger, only at Pal's. Great food in a flash.
I love you.
With a new Toyota, you can practically make summer stand still. From making a splash in a Highlander to fitting in more fun in a Camry or tackling a trailhead in a RAV4 hybrid. Who's a good boy? Enjoy the last of summer in an exciting new Toyota during Toyota's National Sales Event.
Save big on the best-selling SUV Toyota RAV4, like this electrified RAV4 hybrid with fuel savings over $3,700. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Life can be a lot sometimes, but at Holston Medical Group, our primary care providers are here through it all, whether it be a routine checkup or something unexpected. Because at HMG, we're here for you through every stage of life with the best primary care and support. Whether it's you or the people you love most, choose a primary care provider you can rely on. Choose HMG, your health partner for life. Now accepting new patients.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh. I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
Well, it didn't take very long to go inside the numbers on this series because these two schools have never played one another before. Last year's game canceled due to COVID. These two schools are in the same conference for every sport except football, so it will be exciting to see the first chapter in a new rivalry. Both teams won handily in their openers a week ago. Westridge winning 41-6 over Volunteer. Daniel Boone beat South Green 26-0. Let's hope tonight is the first of many games between these two schools. Well, there's only one thing left to do before kickoff, and that's make some predictions. The Prep Picks crew is up next here on the Food City pregame show.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh. I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. Don't dare pay over MSRP. At Friendship, we have 200 new vehicles with a lifetime warranty. Make this the summer event at Friendship Jeep of Bristol. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
At Bank of Tennessee, it's our job to help you focus on the happy moments and check off the things on your to-do list to pull it all off, like finding the perfect soil mixture, the right pots, and a healthy inventory. So you can wonder what they'll think of the displays, and if your green thumb will leave its mark on the community. We're here along the way, so you can pull off the happiest moments in life. Bank of Tennessee, in the business of happiness.
Catch the biggest plays and the final scores on Friday Night Huddle with News 5 Sports' Heather Williams every Friday after News 5 Tonight at 11. Friday Night Huddle is sponsored by Ingalls, Hardee's, and Champion Chevrolet.
During Toyota's national sales event, we're working hard to deliver new Toyotas so you can enjoy the last of summer. From hitting the rapids with a RAV4 hybrid, to kicking up sand in a Tundra, or camping out in a Highlander. Hey guys!
And nobody has more all-wheel drive vehicles like the legendary Toyota 4Runner. Get a rugged new 22 Tacoma with 1.9 APR financing. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Prep Picks. Casey Getz alongside Heather Williams and Steve Williams with ESPN Tri-Cities, TriCitySports.com. Heather off to an early lead after a 4-1 week. Steve and I 1 game back. A lot of season left to go though, Steve. It is game week in Southwest Virginia. We're going to start with Abingdon at John Battle. Heather, you're in first place, so you get the first pick.
Well, I will say this about this game. This is not your grandfather's John Battle team. They are a much improved football team. I think you're going to see them be competitive in a lot of games and win more games than they've won in recent seasons. Although Abingdon right out of the gate, that's a tough draw. They're a 3A or Class 3 school going up against a Class 2 school, so it's going to be very difficult for them. This is going to be a much better game than the Abingdon John Battle games have been in past seasons, but Abingdon still has the upper hand.
Yeah, Abingdon goes 12-2 last year, wins its first region title in 42 years, I think it was. But they lose 18 starters off of that team, including skill position people that accounted for 4,800 yards and 72 touchdowns. Yes, John Battle's going to be better. They won't go winless like they did last year, but they can't win this game either quite yet.
Falcons, they will reload. They get this win, but John Battle will be a much improved team this year than they were a season ago. Steve, we're going to stay in Southwest Virginia, all Smith County matchup, Chilhowie and Marion.
You know, last few years, Chilhowie and Holston been picked atop that Hogohiki district, and they played for that district title. This year, both picked to finish in the lower half, and for Chilhowie, it's because they lose 6 two-way starters. They do return their best offensive and defensive linemen. I think Chilhowie can go on the road and win this game over Marion. A lot of excitement in Marion with a new head coach, but I think the Warriors go on the road and get the win.
The thing that's so interesting about this rivalry is you don't see a lot of rivalries that are a Class 2 school against a Class 1 school. When all else is equal, I think the bigger school just has the advantage, plus the game's at Marion, so I'm going to go with Marion in this game.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Marion, of course, last year we did this game on Friday Night Rivals. It was a competitive game. Jonathan Gilly was the difference for Chilhowie. Well, he's not there anymore, so for that reason, I'm going to go with Heather on this one and take the home team, Marion, to get the win over Chilhowie. Heather, let's head to Northeast Tennessee. Week 2 of the season, Unaka heads up to Roan Mountain to take on Cloud. This is a big game. The winner of this game already is going to have the inside track to winning the region championship.
And how funny is it how much things have changed over the last 3 or 4 years? Unaka would never have been in the picture to be talking about having a chance to beat Cloudland. Cloudland, that's a program, and they're running. But what Unaka has done in the last couple of years is that they have slowly built themselves into a program, too. They have one of the most talented players in our area. I think this is going to be a really difficult ask for Cloudland. This might be an upset to some people, but I actually like Unaka in this game.
You know, last week, Cloudland, Happy Valley, I think they doubled the Warriors in yardage game. It came out on the wrong end of the score. You look at Unaka, great offensive production. Ramsey throws some touchdowns last week. Blamo with 4 touchdowns. But Cloudland has dominated this series for a decade, and most of the games have not been close. Average margin of victory the last 10 years for Cloudland, 44 points. Unaka, I think, can go and win. I don't think they will. I think this is one of those games where you got to show me you can win this game before I can pick you.
I am going with Steve on this one. Going to take the home team in Cloudland, getting the win over Unaka. Steve, next up for debate is Grundy at Patrick Henry, a pair of Class 1 teams that both made the playoffs a season ago.
You know, Patrick Henry, in fact, has gone to the playoffs 8 straight years. Jaquan McPhail, the running back, returns for the Rebels, who have their best offensive lineman back, who's a 3-year starter. Likewise, defensive lineman, 4-year starter. Here's the deal. Patrick Henry has been very, very good to me over the years. They're picked to be atop their district again. As long as they keep being good to me, I'm going to keep taking the Rebels. I'll take Patrick Henry.
The difference is they have Jaquan McPhail. He is one of the best players, especially small school players in our area. I think he holds on to that rock. I think he pounds the ball, and I think he's the difference in the game for Patrick Henry.
A long trip from Grundy to Glades Spring. I think that helps Patrick Henry. Also, I think the Rebels have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder after losing to Holston the last couple of years. I think they want to make their case as the best team in Class 1 at far Southwest Virginia. I think they start off on the right foot with a win over Grundy on Friday. Finally, Heather, our Friday Night Rivals TV game this week. 1-0 Daniel Boone at 1-0 West Ridge.
And I got to see West Ridge play this week, and when we all talked last week, we didn't really know what to expect from West Ridge because they have a lot of rebuilding going on, but they showed there's still plenty of talent. Obviously, it's a 6A school, so there's plenty of depth there as well. I think this is going to be a good matchup, but I think when it just comes to the depth that the Wolves will have more, I'm going with West Ridge.
Yeah, last Saturday afternoon, Daniel Boone holds South Green to 60 total yards. That defensive line with Luke Scott and Manny Dunlop, very impressive for the Trailblazers. Unlike Heather, I think West Ridge is going to be at home. This is a game that should be a great rivalry going down the road. It did not get to be played last year because of COVID. The year before, Daniel Boone did not get to play against Sullivan South. So this game, these communities have waited for this game for a while. It's going to be a great atmosphere you guys will get to enjoy on Friday night. But I'll go with the Wolves in what's going to be one of the better games of the year.
Well, I'm going to take Daniel Boone to get this win. I think their experience, they have 21 seniors on this year's team. They've been pointing to this year for a while. I think Boone goes on the road and gets the win over West Ridge. Well, Steve and Heather, thank you for joining me as always here on Prep Picks. Don't forget, you can get all your scores and highlights coming up on Friday Night Huddle.
This isn't your typical runaway bride scene. It's a Nissan sales event ad. Now that's something I can commit to. His RAV4 doesn't even have as many standard safety features as this Rogue.
Now shop our inventory of certified pre-owned vehicles.
Love may be forever, but these offers are not.
Citizens Bank is a locally owned and operated bank serving communities in East Tennessee. The bank was established in 1934 with 3 guiding principles at its foundation: assurance of safety to depositors, a high standard of service to customers, and a genuine desire to serve the community. These principles are the core factor in the success that has lasted over 85 years and grown Citizens Bank to the renowned financial institution it is today. To learn more about Citizens Bank, visit citizensbank24.com.
Come on, Brian.
Dad, look.
Brian, come on.
I'm Courtney.
I'm Brian.
Ready, Brian? Summer won't last forever, but you can go out and make memories that will during Toyota's National Sales Event.
Save big on the roomy new Toyota Highlander, like this electrified Highlander Hybrid with fuel savings of $3,000. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places. Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh. I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
The Seal line from the Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come, and boy, have they come. The people showing up in droves tonight. The first time Friday Night Rivals coming to West Ridge High School. The Daniel Boone Trailblazers in town. Hello, everyone. Casey Guest alongside Heather Williams tonight. A battle of 1-0 teams going at it. And Heather, we're going to start with some key players for both teams, and we'll start with Daniel Boone.
Yeah, when you start with Daniel Boone, you have to start with Luke Scott, the VMI commit. He is what makes that defense go. They pitched the shutout last week in their opener. And because he's double teamed a lot, not only does he make plays, but he helps open up other guys to make plays as well.
Now, as for West Ridge, we have Cale Bryan, our reigning News 5 Player of the Week.
Yeah, over 200 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns last week in the win over Volunteer. He's named after Cale Yarbrough, so you know he has to be fast to live up to that name.
The only problem is he says his favorite driver is Kevin Harvick. We got to work on that. The Wolfpack, they are ready to go. We are fired up for Friday Night Rivals from West Ridge. Daniel Boone, 1-0. 1-0 West Ridge. Don't go anywhere. Kickoff coming up right after this.
With a new Toyota, you can practically make summer stand still. From making a splash in a Highlander to fitting in more fun in a Camry or tackling a trailhead in a RAV4 hybrid. Who's a good boy? Enjoy the last of summer in an exciting new Toyota during Toyota's National Sales Event.
Save big on the best-selling SUV Toyota RAV4, like this electrified RAV4 hybrid with fuel savings over $3,700. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Life can be a lot sometimes, but at Holston Medical Group, our primary care providers are here through it all, whether it be a routine checkup or something unexpected. Because at HMG, we're here for you through every stage of life with the best primary care and support. Whether it's you or the people you love most, choose a primary care provider you can rely on. Choose HMG, your health partner for life. Now accepting new patients.
At Bank of Tennessee, it's our job to help you focus on the happy moments and check off the things on your to-do list to pull it all off, like finding the perfect soil mixture, the right pots, and a healthy inventory. So you can wonder what they'll think of the displays, and if your green thumb will leave its mark on the community. We're here along the way so you can pull off the happiest moments in life. Bank of Tennessee, in the business of happiness.
I'm Chilly Billy Jones. That was me as a baby. Cute, right? Now, ever since I can remember, I've loved chili. You can probably tell. Especially Pal's Chili Burger. One tasty all-beef patty, covered in chili, cheese, and onions. I'm a big fan. Even got my own chili bits, all ready for the occasion. It's Chilly Billy time.
Chili lovers rejoice. The Chili Burger, only at Pal's. Great food in a flash.
I love you.
Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Holston Medical Group.
Hello and welcome to West Ridge High School. We are getting set for kickoff here. A battle of unbeatens, week number 2 of the season. Daniel Boone and West Ridge. Casey Getz alongside Heather Williams. Heather, it's always cool to be a part of something for the first time, first ever meeting between these two programs.
Yeah, and what an incredible atmosphere here at West Ridge. It's really kind of cool how they built this up in just 1 year. I mean, there is not an empty seat in the house. There's not a parking lot space anywhere.
Heather, let's take a look at tonight's keys to the game.
All right, let's look at those keys. Let's start with Daniel Boone. Both these teams are pretty similar in what they want to do tonight. For Boone, they want to clean up the turnovers. They had far too many turnovers last week and keep the ball in front of them. For West Ridge, don't turn the ball over, and they want to win the kicking game.
All right, let's go to the coin toss. All right, so here we are, guys, getting ready here. It'll be interesting to see which team, whoever wins the toss, if they want the ball or go on defense. Both of these teams, physical teams. You'd have to think they're going to want to go on defense, but we'll have to see what happens here. Of course, Daniel Boone will get the call, the coin toss for this one. Last week, Daniel Boone won 26-0 over South Green. West Ridge, meanwhile, beat Volunteer 41-6. Alrighty, Daniel Boone won the toss and they deferred, so we will see the West Ridge offense at the start of this game.
I really think this is going to be the fun matchup because obviously when you saw West Ridge last week, they really moved the ball. They put a lot of yards up. And Boone, they have not given up a point, not only in the regular season, but also through all the scrimmages.
This evening's coin toss is sponsored by the Tennessee Army National Guard.
All right, so we will see the Daniel Boone kick return team not on the field first. It'll be West Ridge getting the opening kick, and that means Ben Shrewsbury will kick things off for Daniel Boone. And it's probably something West Ridge, their kick return unit, probably didn't spend a lot of time this week because Ben Shrewsbury last week was 5 for 5 on touchbacks. Number 99 is a weapon, so expect, unless, there's a pretty good wind here, so if he's kicking into the wind, maybe they will get a return, but Shrewsbury's a weapon for Daniel Boone.
Well, and the kicking game is one of the things that, West Ridge thinks is really important to this game. They need to win this kicking game because, as you mentioned, their kick return, or their kick off and their field goal is such a weapon.
Shrewsbury last week was 3 for 3 on extra points, 1 of 2 on field goals. The field goal that he made was from 30 yards. Again, he was 5 for 5 on touchbacks, and he had 1 punt for 30 yards. Jeremy Jenkins said he is second to none in Northeast Tennessee for kickers. Ben Shrewsbury will get this off, and it looks like he, up here, we're high above West Ridge. Look, the wind's almost blowing across the field here, so may not have an impact on Shrewsbury. This is the second straight home game to start the season for West Ridge. Daniel Boone, they opened at home last week, so their first road game and their first Friday night game, they played their home opener on a Saturday. Our Toyota kickoff, we are underway, and Shrewsbury's kick,
he stays perfect.
now 6 for 6 on touchback, so West Ridge's offense will come out first, and that'll be with Trey Frazier, the sophomore quarterback, had his first start last week for West Ridge. Of course, Cale Bryant also lined up a quarterback as well, and he was our reigning player of the week, Heather.
Yeah, 4 touchdowns on the night, including just really an explosive 40-yard run early in the first quarter for them and really set the tone on offense.
Trey Frazier, just a sophomore, so he is the present and future of West Ridge. They always will line up in this tight formation here. Old school football for the Wolves. And they're going to go right up the middle on the first play. Nice gain of about 9, almost 10 yards.
I mean, controlling the line of scrimmage is going to be a key for them because the defensive line for Boone is so good, and because West Ridge runs the ball, that's really what they anchor their offense on. So those matchups like that are going to be key in this game.
That was Caleb McLean, and he picked up a first down to start things off. That was a Bank of Tennessee first down on the first play of the game for this West Ridge offense. Again, they are really crowded in together there, but this is what they believe in. They will spread it out sometimes. And that's going to be Cale Bryant picking up close to 5.
I mean, tick it off little by little. That's their MO. That's what they want to do, and it's working to perfection right now.
Here's the Daniel Boone defense. They start 9 seniors on defense and 2 juniors. A very veteran defensive lineup for Daniel Boone. Last week they pitched a shutout. They also got a safety, so they scored points and did not give up any points. Luke Scott, as Heather touched on earlier in the program, he is a VMI commit. Heck of a player on that defensive line. All 4 starters on the defensive line for Daniel Boone are seniors. Third play of the game for West Ridge. They picked up 15 yards rushing. Another run up the middle and close to first down, but it's going to be just short. Heather, going to be 3rd and short. That was Caleb McLean again on the carry.
I think Coach Justin Hilton for West Ridge said that Daniel Boone is what West Ridge was last year. Very senior heavy, led by those upperclassmen. West Ridge leaning a little bit more on the younger guys, but so far moving the ball really well.
Be 3rd and 1. We'll see if this Daniel Boone defense can rise up and make a stop here. We played just under 2 minutes in the first quarter. almost an offsides for Daniel Boone. They were able to get back West Ridge. Now we got a stop and play, and we have a timeout for West Ridge.
Well, I think they just want to make sure, since there was all that movement up front, that they have the right play call, because obviously Daniel Boone was coming.
All right, we'll be right back. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great Friendship deals. We have 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Did you know you can make your current home your perfect home with an ECU home equity loan? Need another room? We've got a loan for that. Need to remodel your kitchen? We've got a loan for that. Need repairs? We've got a loan for that. Whether you have a lot of equity in your home or just a little, Eastman Credit Union has a choice that's right for you. And that's what it means to have ECU beside you.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. Don't dare pay over MSRP. At Friendship, we have 200 new vehicles with a lifetime warranty. Make this the summer event at Friendship Jeep of Bristol. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Holston Medical Group.
Alrighty, welcome back after a West Ridge timeout. It is 3rd and 1 from their own 39-yard line. 9:52 remaining in the first quarter. We have a little pitch to Cale Bryant. He has the first down and a few more yards. Still not going down. Another Bank of Tennessee first down, Heather.
Yeah, and they're going to have to, really hit that hole hard and hit him to bring him down. I mean, over 200 yards rushing last week. He is going to keep turning those legs, and obviously there, if you don't wrap him up, he gets the first down.
So Cale Bryant, a couple good carries. So too has Caleb McLean. West Ridge keeping it on the ground against this Daniel Boone defense, who did not give up, I believe, even 100 yards of total offense last week against South Green. 1st and 10 for the Wolves. Just shy of the 45-yard line, and Daniel Boone's defense with the first negative play. And they say they got the football as well. It looks like they do.
Yeah. I mean, turnovers, we talked about that as our keys of this game. Both teams turn the ball over way too much in week 1. Turn the ball over, you give Daniel Boone a short field here.
I see there was ball got knocked out right away, and Braden Blankenship comes up. That was just a miscue from quarterback there on the trying to do the handoff there. So a mistake by West Ridge gives Daniel Boone great field position. Again, Braden Blankenship, the junior, comes up with the fumble recovery. Now we got Luke Jenkins out for this Daniel Boone offense. He's the junior quarterback for the Trailblazers. They're going to go out of the shotgun with 3 receivers and 1 back. Jenkins comes out throwing on first down, hits a man in motion. That's Rylan Trout, making a couple people miss. Trout still going inside the 20, down inside the 10-yard line. Rylan Trout, a big play there now inside the Toyota red zone.
Yeah, and Coach Hilton talked about this with you, about the athleticism of Daniel Boone and their ability to throw the ball and to make big plays, starting with Jenkins.
A lot of soft coverage there. Trout turns on the wheels, cuts all the way across the field. Now Daniel Boone has a 1st and goal from the 9-yard line. So they get the turnover, then a big play on offense, chunk play in the passing game. 1st and goal from the 9 for the Trailblazers. They're going to have 2 receivers, both to the wide side of the field. Got a handoff on the left side. We do have a penalty flag. Aiden Reiner, they rule a touchdown, but there is a penalty flag, so we'll see if this one's coming back, Heather.
Yeah, looking at the body language from Jenkins, I think that's probably going to be a hold, and that's coming back.
Not a lot of celebrating by Daniel Boone.
Yeah, the body language pretty much tells you what's about to happen here.
All right, so it is indeed holding on Daniel Boone. So let's take a look at this Trailblazers offense. Luke Jenkins, he is a junior. Also, so is Aiden Reiner, the running back, but a lot of seniors on there. The receivers, Rylan Trout, Landon Kirkpatrick. Daniel Boone, they scored 26 points last week, but 2 came on defense and 7 came on special teams with a blocked punt. The offense had 3 touchdowns called back due to penalties, and there's another one right there, something Jeremy Jenkins talked about, and it bites his team once again here on their first drive. So it's now 1st and goal from the 19 for the Trailblazers. Reiner is going to take the handoff again, and he's going nowhere. Spun down for a loss. Sawyer Tate with the stop from West Ridge.
Yeah, the West Ridge defense read that perfectly, coming up and making that tackle.
Here's the defensive starters for West Ridge. A lot of new faces this year, as Heather mentioned earlier. They had a ton of seniors a season ago. So these guys, they played behind the seniors, watched how to do it, and now it's their turn to do it. Ball, actually, they lost a yard there. It's now 2nd and goal from the 20.
That's not ideal.
Looks like Daniel Boone's going to come out with 4 receivers, trips to the near side of the field. Jenkins looking just out the outstretched hand. He was looking for Rylan Trout.
Yeah, just not a perfect throw, and he had to put that out there because there were 2 defenders coming in on the inside, so he had to put it to the outside to put it where only Trout could catch it, but just didn't quite get it there.
And Trout just gets one hand on it. So now we have 3rd and goal from the 20.
You know, in case if they don't get this, it will bring up an interesting dilemma for them because they do have such a good kicker.
All right, we're going to have a play action fake and a drop out in the flat. That was Landon Kirkpatrick in and out of his hands. So now it should be an easy call for Jeremy Jenkins, and he'll send in Ben Shrewsbury to attempt a field goal. But boy, missed opportunity for Daniel Boone. They get a touchdown called back on the holding, and then they back up even more.
Yeah, not taking advantage of the turnover. They gave them excellent field position. They had the one positive play right off the bat, and then the drive just completely stalled.
So this will be a 37-yard field goal for Ben Shrewsbury. And it is no good. Wow. He misses it to the left. Had the distance, but he misses to the left. So West Ridge escapes unscathed here. The turnover does not hurt them.
Well, and just a missed opportunity for Boone. I mean, Coach talked about this in the pregame, you know, the turnovers and taking advantage of the opportunities when they come to you. When you're playing, especially when you're playing upper class, you have to take care of those opportunities because a team like West Ridge is just not going to give the ball to you.
All righty, so Jeremy Jenkins not happy with his team's offensive execution there. The defense back on the field. Trey Frazier under center again for West Ridge, their 2nd possession. The first one ended in a fumble. The toss out wide goes to Cale Bryant, and he picks up not even a yard back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, I mean, it was really close from being a tackle for a loss. It's just the strength of that defensive line. That front 7 for Boone is so tough. I mean, they ran the ball really well in that first drive, but you knew they were not going to be able to continue to just move it at will like that for the entire game.
Yeah, the only 2 junior starters on this defense are the 2 linebackers, Henry Hamlin and Braden Blankenship. And Blankenship was the one that had that fumble recovery on the first possession. We'll say 2nd and 9. They ended up giving Cale Bryant 1 yard there on the play. We're approaching the midway point of the first quarter. No score between Daniel Boone and West Ridge. This is Caleb McLean on the carry. And picks up about 3 hard-fought yards.
I think, you know, as this continues to go on, West Ridge is going to have to put the ball in the air. Boone's defense is so good. If you run every play, they know it's coming, and you're going to eventually figure it out as they look like they have on this drive, and they're going to stop it.
You saw Justin Hilton relaying the play to his sophomore quarterback, Trey Frazier. 3rd and 6 for West Ridge. So they are going to send 1 receiver out wide. That is Bryant. And we have another timeout from West Ridge. That's their 2nd timeout of the first quarter.
Yeah,
West Ridge, 2nd timeout of the half.
Alrighty, so we will take a timeout as well. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Citizens Bank is a locally owned and operated bank serving communities in East Tennessee. The bank was established in 1934 with 3 guiding principles at its foundation: assurance of safety to depositors, a high standard of service to customers, and a genuine desire to serve the community. These principles are the core factor in the success that has lasted over 85 years and grown Citizens Bank to the renowned financial institution it is today. To learn more about Citizens Bank, visit citizensbank24.com.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh. I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
Welcome back to West Ridge High School. Daniel Boone, West Ridge here. The Sky 5 drone powered by Empire Ford flying high above the ridge. Keith Roberts, Jason Hutchinson flying the drone for us tonight. Appreciate it, fellas. West Ridge called their second timeout of the first quarter, both coming on offense here ahead of third downs. They picked up the third down the last time, but it was 3rd and 1. This time 3rd and 6, and Frazier in the shotgun for the first time in the game. It's going to be the first pass of the game for the Wolves. Frazier throws it out of bounds, had 2 defenders over his intended receiver. That'll bring up 4th down for West Ridge.
Yeah, and the West Ridge offensive line actually did a really good job of giving him a pocket and giving him time to throw the ball. But the Daniel Boone defense did a really good job of covering all the receivers, and there just wasn't anyone open downfield.
All right, so in comes the punt team for West Ridge. Rogan Jones back to receive the punt along with Rylan Trout. So Daniel Boone putting 2 players back. Oh, a bad snap for West Ridge. This one's going to go out of the end zone, or he falls on it in the end zone for a safety. It was Caden Puck and had no chance of that one. 2 weeks in a row, Heather, we got a safety for Daniel Boone.
Yeah, and their first score of the game 2 weeks in a row. And really, that was the momentum that gave Daniel Boone, got their offense going and their defense going as well, and able to them to really put it on to South Green. So who knows, that could be the same thing this week.
Yeah, you saw the replay there. Caden Puck, the punter, he had no chance. That snap way over his head. And Justin Hilton said we can't have mistakes on special teams, and they just had one right there. So already we've seen a fumble on offense for West Ridge, and then a bad snap on a punt that just gives Daniel Boone 2 points.
Casey, I don't think you would have had a chance to get that even if you were out there as high as that was, and it happens. But you know, that's 2 chances now that Boone's had. They've got to take an advantage of this now, because West Ridge is, I can't imagine that they'll continue to make these kind of mistakes the whole game.
Caden Puck listed at 6'1", so I do have him by a couple inches, but I think you're right there. That would have been tough to, in my younger days. I never had much hops to begin with. So we have another, this will be a free kick. He'll kick off from the 20-yard line, will West Ridge. So Daniel Boone should get some pretty good field position off of this one. This will be Puck again. Caden Puck, a senior for West Ridge. The 2 returners are near their own 25-yard line.
This is going to be a big drive for the West Ridge defense. They've really got to buckle down and keep Daniel Boone out of the end zone and really stop the momentum right here.
Good kick. Braden Blankenship is going to field it. He's already out at his 40-yard line. Hasn't been anywhere, no defender near him. Across West Ridge territory, Braden Blankenship. What a return. And Heather, he returned it to the line of scrimmage all the way to the West Ridge 20.
And it's just exactly what Justin Hilton talked about. They needed to win the special teams battle in this game, and so far they have not been able to do it. Just an outstanding return for Daniel Boone.
I mean, Blankenship, he went 25 yards before any defender was anywhere near him. Gets taken down at the 20-yard line. So Daniel Boone has a big opportunity here to go up by 2 possessions if they're able to score here early in this one. I'm sure when these two played baseball or softball back in the spring, it was 2-0 at one point in a game, but Daniel Boone will certainly take the lead
That return, Casey, 52 yards.
52 yards. Looks like we have a penalty as well here on West Ridge. They're marking off another 5 yards. So now Daniel Boone will start this drive at the 15. Having some issues with the microphone on the official here, so not able to hear the calls. Luke Jenkins and his Daniel Boone offense starting this drive at the West Ridge 15-yard line, already inside the Toyota red zone. We have 3 receivers to the near side of the field, 1 to the far side. Now got a man in motion. Aiden Reiner is going to take the pitch. Tries to cut it back, and he will. We've got another flag out.
Yeah, it was a really nice cutback by Reiner, but all for naught because apparently that hole opened up by a little hold.
$10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
All right, microphone working now. Another holding play. So that's 2 holding penalties against Daniel Boone that have happened deep in West Ridge territory.
Yeah, and, you know, when West Ridge is giving you these opportunities, I mean, you just can't make those mistakes. Penalties got them a lot last week, kept them out in the end zone. 3 touchdowns, as you mentioned earlier, called back because of penalties, and obviously they still need to work on that a little bit.
So the ball is now out to the 24-yard line. They can get a first down at the 5, so 1st and 19. Luke Jenkins keeps this one, fooling everybody here. Has a lot of room to run. He's down inside the 11, mark it at the 10. So that's a pick up of 14 yards. Luke Jenkins keeping that one, Heather.
Yeah, he had a huge hole to run through. I mean, he was 5 yards down the field before anyone was even near him. Saw it perfectly. Look at all that space in front of him. One cutback, and he might have been able to score, but still an outstanding pickup by him.
Jenkins reading the defensive end there. He crashed down hard. He pulled the ball out of Reiner and kept it himself. So we got a 2nd and 5 from the 10-yard line for Daniel Boone. They have 3 receivers. Man in motion here. Handoff is going to go to Reiner right up the middle. He is down right about the 5-yard line. It's going to be very close to a first down.
Yeah, we're not exactly at center. I was going to say it looked like he had enough to get there. We're at the center of the field, so it's kind of hard to see in those corners. But from up here, it definitely looked like he had enough yardage to get that first down.
And indeed, he did. So 1st and goal from the 5 for Daniel Boone. There's Jeremy Jenkins, been the head coach at Daniel Boone since 2004. I think he is the most senior coach in Northeast Tennessee at one school. There's Reiner again on the carry, breaking off a tackle, and he is down and in for the Daniel Boone touchdown, a 5-yard touchdown from Aiden Reiner.
Exactly what you wanted to do if you're Daniel Boone. Take advantage of the turnover that was given to you in the great field position, and exactly what you didn't want to happen if you're West Ridge, because now all of the momentum is on the Trailblazers side.
A 5-yard touchdown from Aiden Reiner, the running back, the junior, makes it 8-0 Daniel Boone. Ben Shrewsbury will be in to attempt an extra point to make it 9-0 Trailblazers. That kick is up. And it is good. Daniel Boone on top of West Ridge, 9-0 with just under 4 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Hardee's is proud to recognize our scholar athletes, celebrating excellence in academics and athletics.
Each week, News 5, WCYB, and Hardee's is honoring one student athlete from each school involved in Friday Night Rivals for their achievements both on and off the field. This week's winner from Daniel Boone is Kaylee Ford. Ford has a 4.138 GPA, is a 4-year All-American cheerleader, and is a volunteer at Second Harvest Food Bank. And from West Ridge this week, we honor Olivia Nagel. She has a 4.16 GPA, a starter on the tennis team for the Wolves, and helps provide free tennis lessons for a nonprofit.
All Hardee's Scholar athletes have the opportunity to compete for a $5,000 scholarship to be awarded at the end of the season.
We are welcome back to West Ridge High School. Heather, she's everywhere in the studio and out here doing the game. The Scholar athletes there. Congratulations to both winners. It's 9-0 Daniel Boone here. We have just under 4 minutes remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, and that drive, very quick one for Daniel Boone. 20 yards, minute 53 off the clock, and 7 points.
There's a Toyota kickoff by Ben Shrewsbury, and he flew that one almost out of the back of the end zone. So now 7 for 7 on touchbacks for number 99, and West Ridge offense, Heather, they're going to come out here in a 9-0 hole.
Yeah, and really need to, even if they don't score, they really need to flip the field position. We've played almost the entire first quarter here on this end of the field. They really need to flip the field position so that the Daniel Boone offense has to work a little harder to get to the end zone.
West Ridge, their offense certainly is built around the running game. There's Justin Hilton, the second-year head coach of the second-year school. Cale Bryant will be lined up at quarterback on that one. He gets a gain of about 6 yards. We saw this a little bit last week. Cale Bryant lining up at quarterback. Heather, it's the first time we've seen it tonight.
Yeah, and why worry about handoffs? You've already had one fumble. Just eliminate the middleman, snap it straight to him, and it picks up positive yards.
They're actually going to give him 7, so we'll say 2nd and 3 for the Wolves. Both of these teams 1-0 on the season. First ever meeting between these two. Last year's game was canceled due to COVID. Bryant again takes the direct snap. And looks like he has a first down across the 30-yard line. So 2 plays here, 2 runs for Cale Bryant and a first down.
What we talked about earlier, I mean, he's so tough to bring down. You really have to tackle him, and you have to wrap him up. If you allow him to keep his legs moving, he's just going to move the entire pile forward, which he did for that first down.
Ball's at the own 31-yard line of West Ridge. There is Cale Bryant. He was our player of the week for our first high school football player of the week award this year. The first of 10 we'll hand out, and the first one went to Cale Bryant. It's a Bank of Tennessee first down for the Wolves. And they're going to stay with it here. Bryant, this time he's getting strung outside. Not much running room. Does a good job turning a negative into a positive. Looks like he picked up about maybe a yard and a half.
But as I mentioned before, Casey, while this is working and they are getting positive yards by direct snapping to him, I still feel like they're going to have to put the ball in the air at some point, because this defense for Boone is just too good. And if you let them just pin their ears back and just defend the run, they're going to be able to stop you eventually.
There's Manny Dunlop. Look at that face paint he's got on there.
I want no part of that.
2nd and 9. We got another ball on the turf. Trey Frazier falls on it, so avoiding disaster. But the second time we've seen West Ridge put a ball on the turf.
They're living on the edge right now. They're making a lot of mistakes, and Boone has been able to capitalize on a couple of them. But this could be much, much worse for West Ridge. They've really got to clean up these mistakes if they want to keep pace, because this defense is so stingy for Boone. If you give them any opportunity at all, they're going to take advantage of it and make it very difficult for you to get past the 50-yard line, let alone score.
All right, we're going to have a timeout here from Daniel Boone. Jeremy Jenkins taking his first timeout of the first half. We will take a break with him. Daniel Boone on top 9-0. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Catch the biggest plays and the final scores on Friday Night Huddle with News 5 Sports' Heather Williams every Friday after News 5 tonight at 11. Friday Night Huddle is sponsored by Ingles and Hardee's.
The Twin Springs Titans versus the Holston Cavaliers are Toyota's Friday Night Rivals. Friday at 7 on News 5 WCYB. Join News 5 Sports' Casey Getz as they bring you live game coverage of some of the biggest and oldest football rivalries in the region. Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Holston Medical Group.
Outstanding plays are made by outstanding players. I'm News 5 Sports Director Casey Getz. Join me every Wednesday during News 5 at 6 and 11 to find out who will be named our Player of the Week.
Player of the Week is sponsored by Hardee's and Toyota.
All right, you're looking at the Sky 5 drone powered by Empire Ford up on the ridge here tonight. West Ridge High School, the second year of this school in Sullivan County. Sullivan North, Sullivan Central, and Sullivan South merged to combine into West Ridge. A beautiful school here in Blountville, Tennessee. Daniel Boone called a timeout here, so it's 3rd down. Cale Bryant is going to throw this one. He's going to chuck it deep. And he overthrows his intended receiver. Good coverage on the play as well. That was Drew Odom going out for West Ridge, and Heather, the punt team, back on the field for the Wolves.
Yeah, and while they didn't get the first down, I think it's good that they threw the ball there just because you've got to keep that defense honest. The next time, they'll at least have it in the back of their head that they might throw the ball. But they didn't accomplish what they needed to accomplish on this drive, which was at least flip the field. Daniel Boone's going to have really good field position again.
Bryant has quite an arm on him there. Really good ball now. Now we'll see if West Ridge this time able to have a good snap, and we get a kick off by Puck. This is a nice one. It is going to be fielded and try to be returned, but West Ridge, great coverage on their punt coverage unit, and Daniel Boone's going to start this drive inside their own 30-yard line.
So they were able to flip the field a little bit on special teams, which is good because Coach Hilton talked about winning the special teams. That's a positive play for their special teams. Daniel Boone made a little bit of mistake there. You really don't want to ever run backwards on a punt. He probably should have just let that ball bounce, but at least they hung on to the ball, and they'll start around the 27-yard line.
All right, we were late in the first quarter of this one. Daniel Boone on top, 9-0, minute 28 left. We're going to have a fake handoff and a backwards throw to Landon Kirkpatrick. Breaks the tackle and turns it into a nice gain. Creative play call there for Daniel Boone.
And had the defense fooled a little bit. They were coming in, so they draw the defense into the quarterback with the fake, and then opens up the sideline for the run.
Another Bank of Tennessee first down, and since that was a throw behind the line of scrimmage, that will, I believe, go down as rushing yards there for Landon Kirkpatrick, not receiving yards. Either way, it's a first down for Daniel Boone at their own 46-yard line. Aiden Reiner has nowhere to go, and he's going to lose a couple yards on that one. West Ridge's defense with a big play. Dylan Joyner, middle linebacker, in there leading the charge.
Yeah, no one fooled on that play. No trickeration that time around, and the West Ridge defense was right there waiting on Reiner.
He's going to lose 3 yards on that first down carry. Inside a minute remaining in the first quarter. Daniel Boone has scored on a safety after a bad snap on a punt by West Ridge, and then a 5-yard rushing touchdown by Aiden Reiner. Jenkins going to throw this out to Kirkpatrick. Not many places to go for Landon Kirkpatrick. Another good play by this West Ridge defense.
This is an important drive. I feel like a broken record when I say this, but this is an important drive for West Ridge. They need to keep Boone not only on the end zone, but on this side of the field to give themselves better field position and complete that flip of the field position.
It's going to be 3rd and 12 for this Daniel Boone offense. They do not have to run another play as the game clock will expire here in the first quarter. So after one here up on the ridge, Daniel Boone leads West Ridge 9-0. We'll be back for the second quarter right after this.
Come on, Brian.
Dad, look.
Brian, come on.
I'm Courtney.
I'm Brian.
Ready, Brian? Summer won't last forever, but you can go out and make memories that will during Toyota's National Sales Event.
Save big on the roomy new Toyota Highlander, like this electrified Highlander Hybrid with fuel savings of $3,000. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Ready for an adventure but don't know where to start? Eastman Credit Union can help. Now's the time to take the leap and live out your dreams. Whether it's fishing on a new boat, cruising on a motorcycle, or road tripping for your family's vacation, ECU's RV and power sports loan is just what you need. With affordable rates and no payments for 90 days, you can play now and pay later. What could be better than that? Visit ecu.org/play to apply today.
You ready to save some money on furniture? It's the Zach's Home Labor Day sale, where you get 10% off your entire purchase or get 0% financing for 5 years. Save big on everything in the store, like this lift chair, just $4.99. This sofa, just $5.99. This Italian leather sofa, just $14.99. And this Liberty bedroom, just $19.99. And don't forget about our Hollywood outdoor furniture. Why would you go anywhere else? It's the Zach's Home Labor Day sale. You got to get to Zach's.
Life can be A lot sometimes. But at Holston Medical Group, our primary care providers are here through it all, whether it be a routine checkup or something unexpected. Because at HMG, we're here for you through every stage of life with the best primary care and support. Whether it's you or the people you love most, choose a primary care provider you can rely on. Choose HMG, your health partner for life. Now accepting new patients.
Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Holston Medical Group.
Welcome back to West Ridge High School. Look at all those cars. A packed house tonight. We got a 3rd and 12 for Daniel Boone. First play of the second quarter. Luke Jenkins, he is in trouble. 3 guys take him down for a huge loss on the play. That was exactly what West Ridge needed there.
Yeah, I mean, a big play by the defense, able to put them in probably, if this punt goes well, in their best field position of the night so far.
That was Carter Osborne there on the sack, number 42. It looks like they were trying to set up a screen that just did not develop, and Jenkins had no chance there. He held onto the ball, so Daniel Boone goes back. Now they're going to punt. The ball's at their own 30-yard line. Shrewsbury kicks it from just inside his 20. A beautiful kick by Ben Shrewsbury. And we got a muffed punt. Looks like Daniel Boone has recovered it. And they have Cale Bryant not able to come up with that one. Daniel Boone recovers. That was Henry Hamlin, one of the starters on defense, who comes up with the recovery. And Heather, another mistake for West Ridge.
Yeah, and just not the kind of mistake you see Bryant usually make, and he's holding his head, but he's got to turn around and get his head back in this because he's an important part of that defense.
Watch here on the replay. He waves for a fair catch and then reaches out at the end, not able to get it. Henry Hamlin right there, and also got to give Ben Shrewsbury some credit. That was a booming punt there. Some side spin maybe on it for there, so good kick by Shrewsbury. Daniel Boone's offense quickly back on the field. They're starting this one inside the West Ridge 25-yard line. Jenkins going to throw it outside. Has his man for a easy pitch and catch for a first down for Daniel Boone. That was Jackson Utzman. Let's take a look. Coming up on halftime, we have our Friendship Hyundai halftime report. We'll hear from one of the bands, the HMG's Heart of the Town. And we'll also have an interview with the Tennessee Army National Guard and more. All that coming up on the Friendship Hyundai halftime report. That was a first down for Daniel Boone. They're inside the Toyota red zone. Luke Jenkins in the shotgun here. He's got 3 receivers. He tosses that to Reiner. Reiner leaps over a defender for about 3 yards. Some of the hardest 3 yards you'll ever see when you make a leap like that. But, I mean, he's just like, well, I had to do what I had to do and pick up positive yardage on that run. Have you got some first quarter stats there? Anything jump out to you so far?
Well, just 37 yards for, need better glasses, 37 yards for West Ridge, and no passing yardage. I mean, I talked about it. They're going to have to pass the ball to keep the defense, keep them honest.
West Ridge did win time of possession, but not much else there in the first quarter. Another handoff to Reiner, breaks a tackle, spins inside the 10-yard line. So Aiden Reiner's picked up about 6 hard yards so far on this series. He's going to set up 3rd and about 5.
And all the momentum right now with Daniel Boone. Everything that could go wrong for West Ridge has gone wrong in this first half. They're only down 9-0 though. If they can hold them to at least a field goal here and then get something positive on the next drive, they're still in this game. So they've really got to buckle down right here and come up with a big play on defense again.
Yeah, you're right, Heather. This is a very critical 3rd down. If Daniel Boone scores a touchdown here, just kind of puts a different spin on this game, or if they can keep him to a field goal. Jenkins going to roll out to the left. Now it looks like he's going to tuck it and run. He does. Lowers his shoulder. He does not get a first down. Looks like he's going to be about a yard and a half shy of the first down. It'll be decision time for Jeremy Jenkins. It's about fourth and a very long one. Will he leave the offense on the field, or will he bring in Ben Shrewsbury? It looks like he's going to leave the offense on, Heather, but now here comes the field goal team.
Here he's just faking you out a little bit. You know, it's an interesting dilemma because you have a chance to put them away right here if you score a touchdown, but when you have a kicker as good as Shrewsbury, I mean, you just can't leave points on the field.
Shrewsbury 0 for 1 in the game. He did miss a 37-yard field goal. This one will be much shorter. It is at a maybe a bit of a weird angle. This one will be a 24-yard field goal. This one is up, and it is good. Ben Shrewsbury, the 24-yard field goal, makes it 12-0 Daniel Boone. They take advantage of another turnover. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals here on News 5 WCYB.
I'm Chilly Billy Jones. That was me as a baby. Cute, right? Now, ever since I can remember, I've loved chili. You can probably tell. Especially Pal's Chili Burger. One tasty all-beef patty covered in chili, cheese, and onions. I'm a big fan. Even got my own chili bits, all ready for the occasion. It's Chilly Billy time.
Chili lovers rejoice. The Chili Burger, only at Pal's. Great food in a flash.
I love you.
Shopping for your next car? With our online store, you can search inventory and get our pricing upfront. Select payment options, get a firm trade offer, and add service and protection plans. Complete your entire purchase from home in a matter of minutes. Then pick your car up at the dealership or have it delivered to you. It's that easy. Start shopping for your next car today.
Welcome back to West Ridge High School. Daniel Boone on top 12-0. Heather, so far it's been a series of mistakes by West Ridge, and I think you're right. They're lucky to be only down 12-0.
Yeah, they're down really less than 2 touchdowns when everything has gone wrong for them. Everything that we talked about in the keys to this game, turnovers and the kicking game, they've let Daniel Boone win that, and that's been the difference in the game. If they can clean that up, the things that Coach Hilton talked about with you earlier in the week, they have a chance to be in this game.
All right, Shrewsbury, I want to make a bet this one's going through the end zone, and that one might be a good field goal. Just off to the left there. Ben Shrewsbury now 8 for 8 on touchbacks. What a weapon that is when you know your defense is going to start with the offense on the 20-yard line for Daniel Boone. They know that everyone's got to go 80 yards on them pretty much any time they kick off.
And you also take away the possibility of them breaking one open and getting back in this game just on one kickoff return. That just doesn't exist when you're putting it out of the end zone every time.
Number 99 is a weapon for this Daniel Boone football team. So West Ridge, again, they got to consider themselves lucky. Only down 12-0. Daniel Boone unable to deliver a knockout punch so far. Trey Frazier, sophomore quarterback. Caleb McLean right beside him. West Ridge spreading it out here with 3. They're going to hand this up the middle to McLean. He is going nowhere. This Daniel Boone defense up to the challenge. Hagen Edwards in there on the tackle along with Braden Blankenship.
What's so interesting about this game, Casey, is the coaching staffs know each other so well. They know each other's moves. Head coach Justin Hilton for West Ridge was on the staff with Jeremy Jenkins years ago at Sullivan South. And Chris Seeger, one of the assistant coaches at Daniel Boone, used to be the head coach at Central, coached a lot of these kids before West Ridge opened up.
Now we got a whistle before the play. Penalty markers are down. Definitely have had a few flags, but not nearly as many as we had last week.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, defense. Number 4, 5-yard penalty, second down.
It is week 2. We would hope that you would clean up these a little bit. This one actually going against Boone, they have had more penalties, and that is really about the only thing that hasn't gone their way today is the penalties. They cleaned that up, and you know, they're going to be a dangerous, dangerous team.
Yeah, you know, the old cliche, I talked to both coaches about this. I said, you know, it's the biggest improvement they say a team makes is between the first and second game. Both of these coaches agree with that. They said that's not just a cliche because you never know how someone's going to react when the lights come on for the first time. And now everybody kind of knows as we get a little pitch here. And Daniel Boone's defense makes up for that 5 yards they gave him on the offside. And there's Luke Scott, number 51, the VMI commit, leading the way on that tackle for a loss. And he is a heck of a player, Heather.
Yeah, and creates such a dilemma, right? Because if you double him, they have such talent on that defensive line that other guys can make plays. But if you don't double him, that's exactly what happens.
3rd and 5 for West Ridge. 7:31 and counting remaining in the first half here. Second game of the season for both of these teams, the final Friday in August. Frazier looking and decides to pull it down and run, and he's going to go nowhere as Hagen Edwards pulls him down. Now we got a flag. You wonder if there's a face mask there, Heather.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, where that flag was thrown, it would almost have to be a personal foul for a face mask.
We'll wait for the official call there. It would have been 4th down with no penalty.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 7. That's a 15-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so a costly penalty there as you see Hagen Edwards gets the hands up there and turns, and that's an easy call for the officials to make a first down for West Ridge.
And penalties continue to be the Achilles heel for Boone in a game where everything's gone right. They cannot let West Ridge get back into this game via penalties.
All right, ball's at the 36-yard line. They'll take a Powell sudden service first down. However, they can get it here to keep possession. It's going to be a dive up the middle for West Ridge. Picks up about 3 yards. Pile of humanity there. Caleb McLean comes out of it for a second. Like, I have no idea who's in that pile, but it was Caleb McLean, the senior railback. Now a little tempo here for West Ridge. Back to the line quickly.
And if West Ridge can do that every play, then they'll be good. 3 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. Just tick it off, keep it simple, and move the ball.
Now the I formation, Daniel Boone's defense tells Cale Bryant to take a seat. That was Ty Nance, number 79, in there as well, along with Braden Blankenship. They'll set up a 3rd down, and again, some tempo for West Ridge. Back to the line of scrimmage very quickly.
Casey, I'm a little bit concerned about the body language of West Ridge. They look a little defeated, and they're still in this game.
We got a stoppage before the play.
Prior to the snap, encroachment, 79, offense or defense, 5-yard penalty.
All right, so that's Ty Nance on defense, a free 5 yards. And Heather, you talked about it. It looks like Jeremy Jenkins just said, I want a timeout. So we'll take it with them here. It's 12-0 Daniel Boone. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
During Toyota's national sales event, we're working hard to deliver new Toyotas so you can enjoy the last of summer. From hitting the rapids with a RAV4 hybrid, to kicking up sand in a Tundra, or camping out in a Highlander. Hey, guys!
And nobody has more all-wheel drive vehicles like the legendary Toyota 4Runner. Get a rugged new 22 Tacoma with 1.9 APR financing. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Life can be a lot sometimes. But at Holston Medical Group, our primary care providers are here through it all, whether it be a routine checkup or something unexpected. Because at HMG, we're here for you through every stage of life with the best primary care and support. Whether it's you or the people you love most, choose a primary care provider you can rely on. Choose HMG, your health partner for life. Now accepting new patients.
Welcome back to West Ridge High School. Daniel Boone took their second timeout of the first half, so each team has one timeout remaining here in the first half. I think Jeremy Jenkins, I'm sure, probably told his guys, stop going off sides and stop making so many penalties. A lot of penalties in this first half for Daniel Boone. 3rd and 5 for West Ridge. They'll be in the shotgun here. 3 receiver set. Frazier's looking out to the outside, and that's going to be picked off, and that's going to be a touchdown for Daniel Boone, a pick 6. The Trailblazers score on defense, a Toyota touchdown. That was Brogan Jones with the pick 6, Heather.
And just exactly what West Ridge did not want to happen there. I know I said they needed to throw the ball, and they do to keep the defense, but, I mean, he looked at his receiver the whole time, went right, made that an easy pick for Boone, 6 points, and now things get a little dicey if you're West Ridge.
Brogan Jones, a heck of a baseball player as well at Daniel Boone, and he caught that one and took off with it. Here's Shrewsbury in, and we have a flag before this extra point. Might have too many men on the field for West Ridge.
That's what it looks like. Number 80 is running off the field right now.
Substitution infraction on the defense. The penalties decline. Retry the down.
All right, so Daniel Boone says decline the penalty, and I think for that 1 yard, it's not going to make much of a difference for Shrewsbury here.
Well, yeah, and they practice extra points from this distance all the time. Sometimes being too close can throw things off.
Great angle there. That extra point right down Broadway. Daniel Boone on top 19-0 after Brogan Jones says thank you very much with the pick 6. Trailblazers on a roll here at West Ridge.
Toyota and your local Toyota dealer are combining resources to support our area high schools. We stand together as community partners for our high school athletes and their families to help schools and students get the most out of their high school years. Toyota is proud to join News 5 WCYB, Fox 39 WEMT, and Tri-Cities CW to provide each host team with a charitable donation to their school. Proudly presented by Toyota and your local Toyota dealer. Tonight's donation goes to the West Ridge Wolves.
Welcome back to West Ridge High School. I want to say thank you to Anthony Richardson, the athletic director here at West Ridge, and everybody at the school being very accommodating. And the Sky 5 drone powered by Empire Ford flying high above the school tonight. First time I've ever been here for a football game. I know, Heather, you were actually here last week as well for their opener against Volunteer.
Yeah, and what an incredible atmosphere. I mean, there were a few empty seats over there, but that's where the band was. There's really not an empty seat in the house. A lot of people milling around in the standing room only sections. I mean, they do an incredible job to just be a second-year school. They really, really have gotten behind this consolidation and behind this team.
Not a lot, though, tonight for the home crowd to cheer about as Shrewsbury sends that one out of the back of the end zone. And if it wasn't for the threat of an onside kick, I wouldn't even bother sending the kick return team out there because it was automatic that Shrewsbury, what a powerful leg he has.
Yeah, it's really impressive what he does. And to be able to do it so consistently on the high school level just makes him such a weapon. This is a do-or-die possession for West Ridge. They need to get something positive going in the first half to give them some sort of momentum, something that they can build on for the second half.
So we got a stoppage here. There was something that was on the field there. So, for the second straight week now, Daniel Boone, they have scored points in all three phases of the game. Last week they had a safety. They had a punt block for a touchdown. Of course, the offense, and they have a safety. They have a defensive touchdown. They have an offensive touchdown. So here's a handoff for West Ridge. Daniel Boone early in the season, all three units contributing to the scoreboard. That's something you don't see very often in a season, probably, let alone the first two games of the season. So other than the penalties, Daniel Boone has to like the way their team is playing so far this year.
Yeah, it's what makes this team so dangerous is their ability to score every time they're on the field, no matter what side of the ball that they're on. But those penalties are eventually going to catch up with them. I mean, it's the thing that's kept West Ridge in this game. I know it's 19-0, but it could be much, much worse if they don't give up so many penalties.
We're under 5 minutes left in the second quarter. 2nd and 7 for the Wolves. Frazier spins out, hits his receiver, got some running room and lowers his shoulder. Carter Osborne picks up the Powell sudden service, first down. Nice play there, and Osborne maybe a little shaken up there. It was a big hit.
Yeah, it was a big hit. He looks like maybe a little bit of the wind knocked out of him. But that is exactly what West Ridge needs to do. High percentage throws. He had the little fake there at the beginning, which was better than the throw before because he wasn't staring down the receiver the entire time.
Osborne's going to come off after that one. That was a hard hit there. First down for West Ridge. Ball's at their own 35-yard line. Frazier staying in the shotgun. Now Caleb McLean going to take this one, and he's going nowhere. This Daniel Boone defense has been very strong against the run other than the first few plays of the game. Yeah, when you know that they want to run the ball, that's what they want to do. It takes some of the mystery out of it and makes it easier for them to defend. Now, obviously, Daniel Boone is an outstanding defense, so, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from that. But when you know that 9 times out of 10 the ball's going to be on the ground, it makes your defensive options much easier. 2nd and 10 will say no gain on that first down. 3 receivers to the wide side of the field for West Ridge. Down 19-0 to Daniel Boone. Frazier's going to throw this one. Decides to tuck it and run. He ends up picking 4 yards up as he falls forward there. Good play by the sophomore quarterback, and they're going to go hurry up to the line of scrimmage here.
And even though they didn't throw the ball there, right, he looked like he was going to throw the ball, and it opened up a running seam for him. So just the threat helps them move the ball better.
Now we got another flag. It might be another offside penalty against Daniel Boone.
You just can't line up in the neutral zone like that. I mean, if you're doing that, you're not paying attention to where the ball snapped.
Prior to the snap, encroachment defense, number 7, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
All right, so that was almost the first down for West Ridge. That penalty makes it 3rd and 1. Now they're going to go under center. Frazier's going to sneak it across for the first down. So we got a first down for West Ridge as they approach midfield. We approach 3 minutes remaining in the first half.
And West Ridge just needs to keep doing this. Move the ball, make something positive happen, and maybe get some points before we head into the half.
Frazier going to go back to the shotgun here on first down. He's going to fake the handoff, throw it over the middle. That gets knocked down by the Trailblazers. That looked like Braden Blankenship that put that one on his big bear claw.
And a good play by West Ridge, good idea. The receiver was wide open. Blankenship just able to put his hand up, which is what you need to do in a situation like that, and knock it down.
2nd and 10 for this West Ridge offense. Each team has 1 timeout remaining in the first half. Frazier's going to throw this one, and it is incomplete. He was looking for Drew Odom. That's going to set up a 3rd and 10.
And again, a good idea to throw the ball. He had enough space to catch it, but just couldn't quite haul it in. It would have been a tough catch if he would have caught it, but it's helping to keep that defense a little more honest.
.241 left in the first half. 3rd and 10. If Daniel Boone gets a stop here, they'll have a chance to get the ball back. West Ridge calls their final timeout of the first half.
West Ridge.
We will take it with them. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Does your company need to hire more than 10 new employees and you can't find qualified candidates? Are staffing needs keeping you from meeting the demand for your products or services? Human Resource Directors, let us fill your open positions. Our solutions can be tailored to all industries and businesses, small and large, manufacturing, healthcare, warehousing, transportation, construction, and more. Combining the power of television with targeted digital solutions, WCYB will speak directly to the candidates you need, wherever you need them. We'll showcase why you are an employer of choice. We send qualified candidates directly to your application portal from the Tri-Cities or nationwide, or for any other locations you may have throughout the country. Call WCYB today. or use the on-screen QR code to connect directly with us. We're ready to relieve your staffing needs today.
Welcome back. The sun setting to the west here up on West Ridge, and thankfully we'll give Teresa Carter, Dave Dirks a big thank you so far. The rain has stayed away. No other games have been impacted by the weather a little bit tonight, but luckily we have not here at West Ridge. 3rd and 10. The pressure for Frazier. He throws it up to nobody in particular. And that's going to set up a 4th down. And that means the punt team will be back on the field. Manny Dunlop was chasing down Frazier there.
Yeah, and really just a good job of coverage by the Trailblazers. There was nobody open. He tried to hit the back out of the backfield, but really, even if he had hit him, there was nowhere for him to go.
I'll tell you what, if Big 63 was charging me down, I'd be want to throw the ball away as well. All right, Caden Puck in to punt this one, and 2 returners back for Daniel Boone. Good snap, good kick, got a fair catch call. Coming up later, we will have our Toyota drive of the game, and spoiler alert, if it was right now, it would have to be a Daniel Boone drive, Heather, because it's all Trailblazers so far.
Yeah, I mean, and really most of the action has happened on defense and special teams. So we may only have one nominee because there really has really been one offensive drive of note in this game.
Daniel Boone's offense back on the field, starting this drive at their own 24-yard line. Trailblazers will receive the opening kickoff of the second half as well here, so they can run the clock out here, maybe points on the board, and then they'll get the second half kickoff. Luke Jenkins going to chuck this one deep. He's got a man open. That's landing Kirkpatrick. He spins inside West Ridge territory. What a throw that was by Jenkins, rolling to his left and finds Kirkpatrick, who is wide open. Big chunk play there for the Trailblazers, Heather.
Yeah, Kirkpatrick did a good job of getting open and just being right there in the spot to receive the ball and then breaking a tackle and getting a few extra yards here on the end. Daniel Boone trying to go ahead and put one nail in the coffin before halftime, but going deep and trying to hit the home run.
Give Aiden Reiner a little love for a nice block, allowing Jenkins to throw that one, and he's going to reward Reiner with the handoff. Reiner's going to pick up a few yards. We're at 2:05 and counting in the second quarter. Daniel Boone has 1 timeout left, still plenty of time. West Ridge is out of timeouts here in the first half.
Yeah, and best case scenario for West Ridge, they need to hold Daniel Boone off the scoreboard. These plays right in here are going to be very big because if you get much closer, it's going to be an automatic field goal.
Jenkins, a quick throw in the slot. He has Kirkpatrick into the end zone for the Daniel Boone touchdown of 28 yards. Luke Jenkins to Landon Kirkpatrick for the Toyota touchdown, and this is all Daniel Boone tonight, Heather.
Yeah, huge play for them and just a backbreaker for West Ridge. You really cannot let a guy get open in space like that, and then not 1 but 2 missed tackles there allows him to get into the end zone.
Landing Kirkpatrick in, Ben Shrewsbury on. Look at Kirkpatrick, and also now the holder as well. He's doing it all, scoring the points, and now he's going to hold for Ben Shrewsbury. That extra point is up, and it is good. 27-0 Daniel Boone. I don't know if anyone thought it was going to be this lopsided here tonight. Daniel Boone has already scored more points than he did all of last week in their 26-0 win over South Green. So Heather, so far in not even 6 quarters, Daniel Boone has outscored their 2 opponents 53-0 so far this season.
Yeah, and I mean, it's just the experience against the youth, right? I mean, last week, West Ridge was really able to take care of a much smaller school and really just out-depth them. But Daniel Boone, they have the players and the experience, and West Ridge just makes a lot of young mistakes. It's the kind of mistakes you would expect a team like this to make, but you just cannot make them against a team like Daniel Boone.
All right, so we'll wait another kickoff here by Ben Shrewsbury. I wonder what the West Ridge kick return unit they're saying to each other is, all right, guys, go out there and stand around because this one you're not going to return.
Well, maybe they can hope that the wind will misdirect it a little bit.
26-0 now. Daniel Boone, I'm sorry, actually my math was off. It's been 51 points, 52 points, 26 and 26.
I defer to you. I do not math. I let you handle all the numbers.
26-0 Daniel Boone. Toyota kickoff. Shrewsbury's been busy tonight. It's been 52-0 so far this season. They've outscored their opponents, and another one that sails out of the back of the end zone onto the track here at West Ridge for number 99 with the leg. 1:32 remaining in the first half. West Ridge has only lost one game on this field. That was the first ever game last year. Science Hill came in here and won. But other than that, West Ridge had won every game since that opener a season ago. And as you see here, some stats there. Daniel Boone, 117 yards passing and 0 for West Ridge. They're going to keep it on the ground here with Cale Bryant. He's going to pick up about 6 yards. So 26-0 Daniel Boone. That was the score of their game last week when they beat South Green.
One of the things that Coach Jeremy Jenkins talked about with you earlier this week, Casey, is the expectations for this team and how would this team respond to the high expectations as we have some movement and another flag on the play.
That last drive was a 3-play, 76-yard drive.
False start. Offense, number 66 and number 7. 5-yard penalty, first down.
So we got a false start against West Ridge. It was a 3-play, 76-yard drive, just 55 seconds off the clock.
Efficient. I mean, that's how you get it done. A couple of big plays, a couple of busted coverages by West Ridge, and all of a sudden there's 6 points on the board.
50 seconds left in the first half. If you're West Ridge here, you just don't want to make it any worse. In terms of putting the ball on the ground right now, as another flag comes flying in. That one came from the head official.
I think you cursed us, Casey. You talked a couple of drives ago about how there were fewer penalties in this game than last week, and now all of a sudden the flags are flying.
This is going to be holding against West Ridge.
66 offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Replay the down.
Going back to the expectations for Daniel Boone, you know, Coach Jenkins talked about how this team has never really made that deep of a run in the playoffs. So there's tons of expectations on this team. The farthest they've ever gone is the quarterfinals. A lot of people expect this team to be able to at least make it to that point. They want to take the first step. Games like this are how you prove you're ready to do that.
2nd and 16. It's going to be a handoff to Caleb McLean, and he gets taken out. Flipped over there, stays in bounds. The clock continues to run again. Daniel Boone has just one timeout left here, so they can't force West Ridge to punt it here, and West Ridge certainly not in any hurry to run another play as Trey Frazier is running back into the huddle with 7 seconds left in the first half. Does not look like West Ridge will get a playoff, and they do not. That'll be the end of the first half. 26-0. Daniel Boone on top of West Ridge.
I don't think any of us expected this in this game. Really just a lot of mistakes from West Ridge, and Daniel Boone took advantage of every opportunity they were given.
All right, the Friendship Hyundai halftime report will start right after this.
At Bank of Tennessee, it's our job to help you focus on the happy moments and check off the things on your to-do list to make them happen. The food, the setup, and if you bought enough flowers. So you can worry about what they're going to think. What in the world are they going to think? What your mom will say. And if you remember the dance you practiced a million times. We're here along the way so you can pull off the happiest moments in life. Bank of Tennessee, in the business of happiness.
My name is Wayne Atkins, and I encourage you to take the next step in your career and be like me, a CDL driver for Summers Taylor. I'm here to tell you about our great employee benefits where we have medical, dental, vision, and 401k. And we also have top-of-the-line pay and top-of-the-line equipment. I encourage you to come join our team where our pay is weekly and our employees are our most important asset.
Join our team today. Scan the QR code or visit SummersTaylor.com to apply.
Hey everybody, it's Labor Day here at Zach's Home Outlet. We have some amazing deals. Come see a huge amount of Ashley furniture all in one place. Get this recliner with power headrest and power reclining, just $4.99. Get this mattress in a box, just $2.59. This bedroom, just $10.99. This Ashley sectional, just $15.39. And for this event, get 0% financing for 12 months on everything in the outlet. It's all here and it's all priced better than anywhere else in town. Come see us at the Zach's Home Outlet.
I'm Chilly Billy Jones. That was me as a baby. Cute, right? Now, ever since I can remember, I've loved chili. You can probably tell. Especially Pal's Chili Burger. One tasty all-beef patty, covered in chili, cheese, and onions. I'm a big fan. Even got my own chili bits, all ready for the occasion. It's Chilly Billy time.
Chili lovers rejoice. The Chili Burger, only at Pal's. Great food in a flash.
I love you.
Welcome to the Friendship Hyundai Halftime Report.
Welcome back to the Friendship Hyundai Halftime Report. Daniel Boone on top of Westridge 26-0. Here's our little halftime entertainment for you here. We're going to hear from the band in a little bit. For now, though, let's go to our HMG Heart of the Town segment.
Holston Medical Group's Heart of the Town.
Welcome into this week's HMG Heart of the Town. We're at Raphael's Restaurant here in Kingsport. And I'm joined beside the owner, Rich Mashania. Rich, tell me, how long has this restaurant been open here in Kingsport?
We were established in 1993. It was our first year. So we've been here almost 30 years.
And this isn't the only place you all run too as well.
No, my brothers have a Giuseppe's restaurant on East Stone Drive, and they've been there since 1987.
Talk about the family aspect with this restaurant. I see we've got the photos up here on the wall just of y'all's family and everything as well too.
Yeah, I had my mom, Dora Mashania, helped me put those up. I picked them out, and then she framed them for me and hung them. But it starts with my mom and my dad, and you know, all this starts with them and my brothers. Coming here in 1978 and, you know, starting with the Italian Village at the Fort Henry Mall. And then, you know, our dream was to have one here in Colonial Heights because this is where we first lived and grew up and went to school at. So this is home base for us. And this is where we're at now with one of our restaurants is Colonial Heights.
When you first got to open that restaurant back in 1993, what did it mean to open that restaurant at the place you consider home?
It was everything. I mean, it was like winning, you know, the big ball game. It was the lottery. It was, I mean, I can't. And then to finally get here to work after about 10 years at Tang Village, I finally made it back home in Colonial Heights. This is where I live. This is where my kids went to school. To be here and run a restaurant here and help the community as much as I can, I mean, this is everything.
And talk about family, too. I guess you got some family recipes here with some good food, I'm guessing.
Yeah, you know, thanks to my brothers and my mom and you know, they helped me, you know, learn what I've learned, and working in New York for a couple of years, kind of all that put together. And, you know, we do have family recipes that we've used for a long time and the same ingredients.
So I've got to ask you, being the owner, what's your favorite dish?
Favorite dish is chicken marsala.
Chicken marsala.
Yeah, it's you know, there's no other way around it. So.
Well, you heard Rich. Come check out Raphael's and get the chicken marsala. I mean, it's got to be good if the owner's the one that's recommended it. But reporting for this week's HMG Heart of the Town, I'm Andrew McClung.
All right, thanks a lot, Andrew. I have a feeling Andrew may have sampled something there while he was at Raphael's, as well as from the Friendship Hyundai halftime report. The West Ridge Band just putting the final touches in the setup, so we will hear from them when they start playing. But again, it's been all Daniel Boone so far. Actually, we're going to toss the break and we'll catch the band on the other side. You're watching the Friendship Hyundai halftime report.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. Don't dare pay over MSRP. At Friendship, we have 200 new vehicles with a lifetime warranty. Make this the summer event at Friendship Jeep of Bristol. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
All trophies and plaques for WCYB's Friday Night Rivals are provided by Eddie's Trophies and Gift Shop in Bristol. Eddie's Trophies also offers medals, plaques, acrylics, glass, and crystal pieces for your business, school, or sports team. That's Eddie's Trophy and Gift Shop online at eddiestrophies.com.
Come on, Brian.
Dad, look.
Brian, come on.
I'm Courtney.
I'm Brian.
Ready, Brian? Summer won't last forever, but you can go out and make memories that will during Toyota's National Sales Event.
Save big on the roomy new Toyota Highlander, like this electrified Highlander Hybrid with fuel savings of $3,000. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh. I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
Getting that perfect slice is satisfying, fulfilling, and rewarding too. But we don't do it for fun. We do it for fresh. Slice to order makes a sub above.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. We have 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
You're watching the Friendship Hyundai halftime report.
Welcome back to the Friendship halftime report. The West Ridge Band is on the field. Enjoy their performance here a little bit. Tennessee Army National Guard.
The Tennessee Army National Guard.
We're proud to have the Tennessee Army National Guard to be our coin toss sponsor for this 2022 FNR season. And with us again is Master Sergeant Dustin Rodero. If you will, please, sir, tell us about the things that are happening. We're at a high school game, and there are lots of kids that are trying to make decisions about what the next step is for them. What are the requirements to be part of the Guard?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jim, for that question. It's a common question we get from a lot of the younger folks looking at military service, or they're just curious of what opportunities are out there. So one thing that makes us unique is you can enlist at 17 years of age. You can enlist as a high school junior. There's several requirements. You're looking at meeting physical requirements, administrative requirements, medical requirements, and so on. And I highly encourage you to reach out to your local high school recruiter or the recruiter in your area that's assigned to the Tennessee Army National Guard and get with them and ask these same questions: is what are the requirements? Because there's a lot of little details. One of the big ones is taking the ASVAB. There's some minimum requirements on the aptitude side that young folks have to pass, and what that'll do is open up all those doors of opportunity. So once you take the ASVAB and you get a good score, you can see what career fields you've qualified for and kind of explore your options from there.
Which sets you up kind of for the next step. You've joined early, you haven't gone to college, but you've set yourself up to go to college for free because of being part of your service.
Yes, sir, absolutely. So once you've enlisted, it's the day of enlistment, you become eligible for that Tennessee Strong Act. Again, that's full tuition paid for, along with fees at the next higher education level of higher education you want to attend. And then when it comes to different units of assignment, we have units all across the state of Tennessee. The National Guard tries to keep good people in the local community where they live, work, and go to school. So we have units all across Tennessee with different career fields assigned to each unit. So there's lots of different options as far as what your career map may look like.
So you sign up for the Guard. What does that look like? Where will you be assigned to?
So, for example, if you live here in Johnson City and you enlist with a local Tennessee Army National Guard recruiter, we're going to try to keep you close to home or where you go to school. Nothing's worse than long commute times and so on. So we want to keep our good folks within their respective community. But if you live in Knoxville or you live in Nashville, we're going to try to keep you in that central area. That way it makes it easy for you to transportation as far as going to and from work or to and from school.
Well, there you have it for this week. We'll be back with more about the Tennessee Army National Guard next week. Let's get back to the game.
Here at the Friendship Hyundai halftime report. Thanks to the Friendship Hyundai and all the FriendshipCars.com brands for being part of that. It's something that Friendship's been involved with for several years, and I know they love to do it.
Absolutely. The Friendship Auto Group, along with the Walters family, takes great pride in supporting our community and doing things for the community athletics and different groups like that. So we're proud to be part of the program.
Now, as we can see over your shoulders, lots of new things going on here. One is basically going to be a brand new facility.
Absolutely. We've been under construction here for several months now and have about 60 days left to go. We should be open in November. As you can see, the entire building's being renovated. Like I said, we're 60 days away from being open in the sales department. The service department actually opened yesterday, so our service customers are going to be real happy. They don't have to sit in a hot tent anymore while they wait for their car to be fixed.
Now, it's been a difficult time because of chips and other things with supply of getting new vehicles, but you've got a really good selection of pre-owned vehicles here at Friendship Hyundai in Johnson City.
We do. We've got a decent selection of new cars. The most important thing for customers to look at when they look at friendshipauto.com is they can see all of the new cars that are incoming. We may not have many new cars here right now, but we have over 150 new cars that are inbound, and customers can put their name on any one of those cars they want to, and it's theirs when it gets here. We also have over 500 used cars available, with a good selection of those being certified pre-owned Hyundais, which means with a certified pre-owned car, you get the exact same 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty all new Hyundais come with. Along with that, every pre-owned car under 100,000 miles gets Friendship's free lifetime powertrain warranty.
You're watching the Friendship Hyundai Halftime Report.
Shopping for your next car? With our online store, you can search inventory and get our pricing upfront. Select payment options, get a firm trade offer, and add service and protection plans. Complete your entire purchase from home in a matter of minutes. Then pick your car up at the dealership or have it delivered to you. It's that easy. Start shopping for your next car today.
Behind every Food City meat and seafood counter is a highly trained, certified butcher. Our butchers offer special orders, custom cuts, and even entire meal recommendations. In fact, you'll be so impressed with our butchers, you'll be asking yourself, what can't they do?
Huh, I bet he'd be great at wrapping presents.
Okay, well, maybe not that. But at Food City, our butchers make almost everything better.
At Bank of Tennessee, it's our job to help you focus on the happy moments and
and check off the things on your to-do list to pull it all off, like finding the perfect soil mixture, the right pots, and a healthy inventory. So you can wonder what they'll think of the displays, and if your green thumb will leave its mark on the community. We're here along the way, so you can pull off the happiest moments in life. Bank of Tennessee, in the business of happiness.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great Friendship deals. With 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing. Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. With 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
You're watching the Friendship Hyundai Halftime Report.
Welcome back. The Wolfpack, not much to cheer about in the first half of this one. They wish it was 28-21 West Ridge. It's actually 26-0. Daniel Boone on top of West Ridge. Let's check out some first half highlights. And Heather, it was a bad snap. The first points of the game is safety for the Trailblazers.
Yeah, second week in a row that they've started the game with the safety and gave them momentum early.
Braden Blankenship then takes the ensuing kickoff, about a 50-yard return all the way down to the 20-yard line. Then Luke Jenkins on a nice run here makes it a first and goal situation.
Sets up the offense in good field position, and then on the next play, Austin Reiner finishes it off with a touchdown.
The Reiner touchdown made it 9-0. The Daniel Boone defense smothering. They've yet to allow a point this season, and they have scored a couple. There was Brogan Jones on the pick six. That made it 19-0. And then how about Luke Jenkins and Landon Kirkpatrick, a couple connections here, Heather.
Yeah, just busted coverage there by West Ridge, and then Kirkpatrick breaking a couple of tackles, and then he is rewarded with the touchdown again, knifing through the defense, and really an easy touchdown.
We'll be back with the second half kickoff right after this.
News 5 and Hardee's are honoring outstanding students who are making a difference both inside and outside the classroom by showcasing their achievements. Email your suggestions to 5starstudent@wcyb.com.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. Don't dare pay over MSRP. At Friendship, we have 200 new vehicles with a lifetime warranty. Make this the summer event at Friendship Jeep of Bristol. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Does your company need to hire more than 10 new employees and you can't find qualified candidates? Are staffing needs keeping you from meeting the demand for your products or services? Human Resource Directors, let us fill your open positions. Our solutions can be tailored to all industries and businesses, small and large, manufacturing, healthcare, warehousing, transportation, construction, and more. Combining the power of television with targeted digital solutions, WCYB will speak directly to the candidates you need, wherever you need them. We'll showcase why you are an employer of choice. We send qualified candidates directly to your application portal from the Tri-Cities or nationwide, or for any other locations you may have throughout the country. Call WCYB today, or use the on-screen QR code to connect directly with us. We're ready to relieve your staffing needs today.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. With 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Outstanding plays are made by outstanding players. I'm News 5 Sports Director Casey Getz. Join me every Wednesday during News 5 at 6 and 11 to find out who will be named our Player of the Week.
Player of the Week is sponsored by Hardee's and Toyota. Friendship Hyundai Halftime Report.
Welcome back. Here's Landon Kirkpatrick, one of the stars of the first half for Daniel Boone, doing a little bit of everything. That probably goes down to some rushing yards, and he had 2 long passes. This one setting up a touchdown that he had. 26-0. Daniel Boone, Landon Kirkpatrick. And, of course, how about Ben Shrewsbury, the kicker, has done a little bit of everything as well with extra points. The touchbacks, he's been a star as well in the kicking game. for Daniel Boone.
And Casey, that was one of the keys for West Ridge, was to keep that kicking game under control and win the special teams. They have not been able to do that so far.
All right, we are pleased to be joined now by Justin Hilton, head coach of West Ridge. And Coach, I know when we talked on Monday, you said all the things you couldn't do was penalties, turn the ball over. You had 3 turnovers in the first half.
Yeah, we've done a lot of those things I said we couldn't do. So that's what we were talking about in there at halftime. With a young team, you've got to keep trying to grow up as you keep moving forward. So we've made some adjustments. We got a few guys banged up, but we've got to continue to grow, improve, and not panic. And so that's been the message to the team in there at halftime.
Yeah, that was kind of my next question. How do you keep the spirits up? Because I saw a little bit of the body language when things started to get away in the first half, a little slumped shoulders, a little head down. How do you keep these young guys up?
Well, you just keep coaching them up. I mean, you got to play the next play, and you got to keep going. And you know, I've been at a lot of places where we've been down 2 or 3 scores and come back. You chip away, play by play, series by series, get a stop, go score, and see if you can put pressure on the other team. And you know, that's just part of maturing and growing up. On the other side, they got a lot of juniors and seniors that have played a lot of football. So our guys are going to have to grow up really quick and go make some plays and see if we can put a little pressure on them and just keep chipping away.
Coach, appreciate the time. Best of luck in the second half.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was Justin Hilton, head coach of West Ridge. Here are the first half stats, and as you might expect by the score, dominated by Daniel Boone. Heather, total yards 155 to 66.
And the thing that jumps out on here is the 117 yards passing, because nobody was really talking about Daniel Boone's passing game coming into this. It was about both teams' rushing game. West Ridge has done a pretty decent job of running the ball, but with only 12 yards passing the first half, that's allowed Daniel Boone's defense to just tee off and really keep them from busting off a big play.
Last week, Luke Jenkins threw for 156 yards in the win over South Urania's 117 in the first half. Of the Sky 5 drone, powered by Empire Ford. Keith and Jason doing a great job. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Thankfully, the weather has stayed away from here. I know there have been several other games in Tennessee and Virginia tonight impacted by the weather. Jeremy Jenkins has to like how his team performed in the first half, minus maybe the number of penalties. Certainly the way this game is going, barring a massive comeback, we'll be talking to Coach Jenkins after the game, but still a whole other half to go here. West Ridge going to kick things off, the Toyota kickoff to start the second half, and Daniel Boone looks like Brogan Jones, who had that interception return for a touchdown, with a nice return here up to the 40-yard line.
And good field position again for Boone. Once again, a short field. If West Ridge is going to get back in this game, they have to make big plays in the kicking game and keep them from having a short field.
That'll be 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line here for this Daniel Boone offense that scored 2 touchdowns in the first half. Aiden Reiner had a 5-yard rushing touchdown, and Luke Jenkins hit Landon Kirkpatrick towards the end of the half for the second offensive touchdown. Got a defender coming on the field late for West Ridge.
Prior to the snap, substitution infraction, defense, 12 players on the field, 5-yard penalty, first down.
All right, that is not what you want on the first play coming out of the locker room, to have 12 on the field, but 5-yard penalty, and Daniel Boone now will start at the 45.
Another youthful mistake by this team, and it's what we talked about with Coach Hilton just a minute ago. He's got to calm these guys down and say there's a lot of football you have to play. We just can't make mistakes like that.
Little reverse here, Rylan Trout. He's got some running room. Jenkins getting out there blocking for him. Rylan Trout inside the 20. Jenkins with the block, and he is in for the touchdown. No, they're going to stay down at the 1-yard line. Nice play coming out of the first half. Rylan Trout's like, man, I just missed a touchdown.
Well, I think that he's going to have other opportunities to score a touchdown. Just an incredible play, though, by them. Great play call by Boone. A little misdirection, had the West Ridge defense on their heels, and then Trout really just makes this go. I love the quarterback out front blocking for his running back. You don't get to see that very often, but just shows how much of a team effort this is for this Boone team.
Yeah, Jenkins was looking for somebody to block. He didn't find somebody until about 45 yards down the field there. So 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Jenkins, Aiden Reiner in the backfield. This is going to be Reiner up the middle, in for the Daniel Boone touchdown, a Toyota touchdown, and what a way to start the second half, Heather.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly what Daniel Boone wanted to do. When you have a team that has as many weapons and is as dangerous as West Ridge, the last thing you want to do is give them any hope coming out of the locker room. You want to put them on their heels and keep them down, and they just ran that drive to perfection.
So Rylan Trout takes him from the 45 down to the 1, and then Aiden Reiner takes it the final yard. Shrewsbury automatic extra point there, 33-0 Daniel Boone. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
With a new Toyota, you can practically make summer stand still. From making a splash in a Highlander to fitting in more fun in a Camry or tackling a trailhead in a RAV4 hybrid. Who's a good boy? Enjoy the last of summer in an exciting new Toyota during Toyota's national sales event.
Save big on the best-selling SUV Toyota RAV4, like this electrified RAV4 hybrid with fuel savings over $3,700. Save even more with 1.9 APR financing.
Come in today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Life can be a lot sometimes, but at Holston Medical Group, our primary care providers are here through it all, whether it be a routine checkup or something unexpected. Because at HMG, we're here for you through every stage of life with the best primary care and support. Whether it's you or the people you love most, choose a primary care provider you can rely on. Choose HMG, your health partner for life. Now accepting new patients.
Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Holston Medical Group.
Welcome back to West Ridge. There is Jeremy Jenkins talking to Luke Scott. This one, all Trailblazers. They're on top 33-0 over West Ridge.
Yeah, that drive, 2 plays, 55 yards, just 57 seconds off the clock. More efficiency from that offense.
Ben Shrewsbury, a Toyota kickoff. And this one is actually going to be returned down to the 2-yard line. This Daniel Boone kick coverage team going to have to get a little work for the first time all season. Did a pretty good job keeping him short of the 25, and do have a flag come in.
Yeah, that came in on the end of the play, away from the actual play, so I'm not exactly sure what that flag was for.
Might have been a little unnecessary roughness after the play there.
A little extracurricular activity going on.
After the play, personal foul, number 5 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
All right, so the personal foul coming up in the fourth quarter. We will have our Toyota drive of the game. Highly likely it'll be a Daniel Boone drive the way things are going tonight, 33-0. But Daniel Boone did have a penalty there, 15-yard personal foul. So West Ridge going to start this drive at their own 38-yard line. It's going to be a handoff to Caleb McLean, and he is brought down by Luke Scott for a loss of 2 on the play. What a play there by Luke Scott, the senior who's headed to VMI.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Luke Scott does. But going back to the penalty, when we talk to Coach Jenkins, I'm sure the thing that he's going to talk about is that, because when they get into district play, they cannot make those kind of mistakes. It's the kind of things that could turn a game on a dime.
2nd and 12 for West Ridge out of the shotgun. Trey Frazier. This time he's going to keep it, but nowhere to go. He is going to be brought down behind the line of scrimmage. Henry Hamlin. That'll go down as a sack.
Well, and that's just an example of how much talent there is up front for Boone. Luke Scott gets him on the previous play. You pay more attention to him, and then somebody comes up and makes a play because they're running free because you're having to double Scott.
We've played just over 3 minutes here in the third quarter. Daniel Boone has not given up a point yet this season in 6+ quarters of action. 3rd and long for West Ridge. It's going to be a pass. Frazier under pressure, and he's going down. This Daniel Boone defense is just dominant, Heather.
Yeah, there's really no other way to describe it. It's really been an impressive display. I mean, when you watch this West Ridge offense last week against Volunteer, they're explosive. They have speed. They have playmakers. But this Boone defense can match them speed for speed and haven't allowed them to get anyone open for any kind of big play.
That was Manny Dunlop there, the 6'3", 275-pound senior with the sack. West Ridge punting again. This one, a low wobbler, does take a West Ridge bounce across midfield, and it'll be down at the Daniel Boone 45-yard line.
Yeah, I think he'd like to have that pump back. It came off the side of his foot a little bit and just kind of wobbled, but it did take a nice bounce for them, so not as bad as it could have been. They actually got some positive field position change from that punt.
And there has been a change this year for high school football. The running clock, it was 35 points in the past in the second half. They have now changed that to 30 points. So once Daniel Boone scored that last touchdown, it went over there. So even though it's 33-0, that is a new change that went into effect this year in high school football. The running clock starts in the second half with a 30-point margin instead of 35. I think one of the points for that was if someone would be up 34, miss an extra point, then they still have to keep trying to score again to get the running clock. So they did lower it by 5. Reiner on the carry for Daniel Boone. A flag comes in after about a 3-yard carry for Aiden Reiner.
And I think that flag's going to go against West Ridge on the hit afterwards. You know, Casey, if you had taken me over to the New Hollywood.
Holding 24 of the offense, 10 yards from the end of the run. Replay first down.
So it was, in fact, a hold. But as I was saying, if you would have taken me over to the New Hollywood Casino before this and asked me if this was going to be a running clock, I would have lost a lot of money.
You're not the only one. I think we would have lost a lot of money on that one, Heather. Certainly, you know, we thought this was going to be a marquee matchup, maybe go right down to the wire. But as Coach Hilton told us, you know, this is a very veteran Daniel Boone team, and first time his team has faced adversity. West Ridge last week, they won easily 41-6 over Volunteer, and they got a couple mistakes early, and they have not been able to recover as they do a good job there stopping the run on after that Daniel Boone holding penalty. And certainly, you know, Jeremy Jenkins, you say, well, what can you tell your team when it's 33-0 about, hey, you guys need to do this better? Well, he has plenty he can tell us they need to do better, mainly the amount of penalties they have had so far in this game and in the season.
Well, yeah, and Coach Jenkins thinks that this team has a chance to be special. He's talking about going further in the playoffs than the Daniel Boone team has. You can't do that if you're making those kind of penalties. They've got to clean that up, because even though this young West Ridge team could not take advantage of it, more experienced teams will.
2nd and 17 for Daniel Boone from their own 37. Reiner up the middle, and he's going to maybe fall forward for about 2 yards. West Ridge, their run defense has been up to the task on this drive. And we are in a running clock situation here with Daniel Boone on top, 33-0. Trailblazers winning last week 26-0 over South Green. Now up 33-0, so that would be 59-0 so far this year. They have outscored their opponents.
Again, I'm leaving the math to you.
I did mess it up earlier, so I had to redeem myself there. Jeremy Jenkins looking on, 3rd and long. Jenkins, little stutter step, can't get away, does throw. A heck of a throw there. It is caught, but it's going to be short of a first down. Jackson Usman with the catch, and Luke Jenkins made that throw with the defender grabbing at his jersey. Kind of looked like a young Ben Roethlisberger right here.
I was thinking Patrick Mahomes. That's kind of the things that he's done, throwing it as he's getting tackled, falling to the ground. But I know as a Steelers fan, you're going to go with the Roethlisberger reference.
Isn't that funny how we both go to our favorite teams and who their quarterback is? So it's a heck of a catch. It's going to be 4th and 3. And Daniel Boone will punt this ball away. Shrewsbury is going to kick it high. That one goes up above the lights, down at the 1, and then bounces into the end zone. We're going to take a timeout. Daniel Boone on top, 33-0 on Friday Night Rivals.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. Don't dare pay over MSRP. At Friendship, we have 200 new vehicles with a lifetime warranty. Make this the summer event at Friendship Jeep of Bristol. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
I'm Chili Billy Jones. That was me as a baby. Cute, right? Now, ever since I can remember, I've loved chili. You can probably tell. Especially Pal's Chili Burger. One tasty all-beef patty covered in chili, cheese, and onions. I'm a big fan. Even got my own chili bits, all ready for the occasion. It's Chili Billy time.
Chili lovers rejoice. The Chili Burger, only at Pal's. Great food in a flash.
I love you.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. We have 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Welcome back to West Ridge High School. We are in the third quarter. Daniel Boone just punted the ball here away, so West Ridge's offense will be coming out for a possession as they have been unable to get points on the scoreboard. Their best drive of the game, Heather, was the very first one. They had moved the ball right near midfield, then they fumbled, and since then they've had no rhythm offensively.
Yeah, and I think it's really important here for them to try to get some rhythm going for them. The game is probably out of reach at this point, but for a young team to be able to get something going and get some positive momentum going into next week, I think that would be important for this team.
Trey Frazier's pass there for Drew Odom was incomplete, so it's going to set up 2nd and 10. Both of these teams will head into region play next week. West Ridge goes to Science Hill, and Daniel Boone is going to host Cherokee. Now, Daniel Boone did announce yesterday that game has been moved to Saturday at noon. Of course, Daniel Boone, David Crockett, both getting new lights put in, having some issues with that. So Daniel Boone will play Cherokee next Saturday, 12 o'clock. And next Friday, West Ridge will play their first road game at Science Hill. 2nd and 10, Frazier going to throw this one. And I believe that was incomplete.
Yeah, broken up there by number 24.
Tyler Alford there for Daniel Boone on the coverage. 3rd and 10. And of course, that's the one thing here that even though it's an incomplete pass, West Ridge can still work on their passing game and the clock doesn't stop. So that's kind of ideal for both situations where the game doesn't drag on when it's out of hand, but also you can still work on your passing game and not have to worry about stopping the clock on every incompletion.
Yeah, and I realize that West Ridge has a young quarterback, but he's got a good arm. I think that, if they can just get some rhythm in that passing game and develop just a little bit of a passing game. He doesn't need to go out and win games. Just make a few plays, complete a few passes.
Delay offense, number 3, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Delay a game there on West Ridge has not been a good night for Justin Hilton and his team. A lot of mistakes, had 3 turnovers in the first half and a high snap that allowed Daniel Boone to score a safety and get on the board first.
And that's just a rookie mistake, right? I mean, he's a sophomore. You're not trying to delay this game. He's just not paying attention to the clock, which he'll learn.
That was a completed pass to Drew Odom. But that's going to set up a 4th and long, and the punt team will be on for West Ridge as we're under a minute remaining in the third quarter.
I'd really like to see the West Ridge defense step up and make some big plays. It seems like that there's a little bit more experience on that side of the ball, and I think they're going to have to be the leaders, so I think this is an important drive for them to be able to show that they can stop this Boone offense.
Caden Puck going to kick this one away, getting under pressure, and he gets contacted. There's going to be a personal foul for roughing the kicker, likely against Daniel Boone. That could bring the West Ridge offense back on the field here. We'll have to see what the call is, if it's running into a roughing, but it looked like it was roughing to me.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're just trying to work on something there, but I don't know why you rush like that when this game's out of hand, because this is what happens. You give their offense another chance to go out on their field.
See here, they're going for the block punt, and yeah, that's pretty clear roughing the kicker, so that'll be a first down for the West Ridge offense.
And this is good for this young West Ridge team to get out there and get some reps on offense, try to move the ball up the field and work on some things, because next week's game at Science Hill, those are the big games. Those are the games that really count when you're trying to make the playoffs. So if they can get some things corrected, especially in the passing game, you know, the game against Science Hill will be very entertaining.
Of course, the third quarter clock ran out. However, the quarter cannot end on a penalty, so we'll have one untimed down here to officially end the third quarter. It's going to be a run by Caleb McLean, and he's going to pick up about 7 yards. So that'll be the end of the third quarter. Daniel Boone on top of West Ridge, 33-0. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
News 5 and Hardee's are honoring outstanding students who are making a difference both inside and outside the classroom by showcasing their achievements. Email your suggestions to 5starstudent@wcyb.com.
Introducing the pluses of Honda True Used. 10 model years of Honda vehicles, plus 100-day, 5,000-mile limited warranty equals the better way to buy used. Get a used Honda and premium benefits with Honda True Used.
At Bank of Tennessee, it's our job to help you focus on the happy moments and check off the things on your to-do list to pull it all off, like finding the perfect soil mixture, the right pots, and a healthy inventory. So you can wonder what they'll think of the displays, and if your green thumb will leave its mark on the community. We're here along the way, so you can pull off the happiest moments in life. Bank of Tennessee, in the business of happiness.
Life can be a lot sometimes, but at Holston Medical Group, our primary care providers are here through it all, whether it be a routine checkup or something unexpected. Because at HMG, we're here for you through every stage of life with the best primary care and support. Whether it's you or the people you love most, choose a primary care provider you can rely on. Choose HMG, your health partner for life. Now accepting new patients.
Introducing the pluses of Honda True Used. 10 model years of Honda vehicles, plus 100-day, 5,000-mile limited warranty equals the better way to buy used. Get a used Honda and premium benefits with Honda True Used.
News 5 and Hardee's are honoring outstanding students who are making a difference both inside and outside the classroom by showcasing their achievements. Email your suggestions to 5starstudent@wcyb.com.
Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Holston Medical Group.
Welcome back to Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by HMG. We're starting the fourth quarter here. It's all Daniel Boone tonight, up 33-0. So we're going to start the fourth quarter. Daniel Boone, through 7 quarters this season, have outscored their opponents 59-0. And you know they want to get back-to-back shutouts. I mean, Jeremy Jenkins talked about it on Monday, saying in this day and age, it's rare when you get a shutout on defense. They've had one. They're 12 minutes away from a second one. So you know this defense is not going to want to give up some points, even if the backups are in here. A nice catch across the middle for West Ridge. That was Hunter Wexler.
Well, and just to show you how dominant that defense has been in the third quarter, West Ridge, negative 14 yards rushing, total yards, negative 9. So they moved backwards for the entire quarter. 5 yards passing, that's just how dominant that defense has been.
That's a nice throw there by Frazier to start the fourth quarter to Hunter Wexler. Now we're going to have a handoff, and Daniel Boone's defense just gang tackling right there. You can pick about 4 or 5 different numbers and say they were all in there. That's what a good defense does. They get several hats to the football. Going to be a loss of 1, be 2nd and 11. The ball is right at the 50-yard line.
And if you're West Ridge, like I said, you're just looking to make something positive happen. This is a really good football team, West Ridge I'm talking about. So they don't want to let this game end on a sour note. They don't want this game to get in their head.
Got 3 receivers to the short side of the field. That one is incomplete. It was caught but out of bounds by Wexler.
And just, I mean, defensive backs everywhere, right? I mean, he held on to the ball, trying to find someone to get open.
Looks like we got a timeout for an injured player, so we'll take a timeout here. Daniel Boone on top, 33-0 on Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. With 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Citizens Bank is a locally owned and operated bank serving communities in East Tennessee. The bank was established in 1934 with 3 guiding principles at its foundation: assurance of safety to depositors, a high standard of service to customers, and a genuine desire to serve the community. These principles are the core factor in the success that has lasted over 85 years and grown Citizens Bank to the renowned financial institution it is today. To learn more about Citizens Bank, visit citizensbank24.com.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. Don't dare pay over MSRP. At Friendship, we have 200 new vehicles with a lifetime warranty. Make this the summer event at Friendship Jeep of Bristol. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Hardee's is proud to recognize our scholar athletes, celebrating excellence in academics and athletics.
Each week, News 5, WCYB, and Hardee's is honoring one student athlete from each school involved in Friday Night Rivals for their achievements both on and off the field. This week's winner from Daniel Boone is Kaylee Ford. Ford has a 4.138 GPA, is a 4-year All-American cheerleader, and is a volunteer at Second Harvest Food Bank. And from West Ridge this week, we honor Olivia Nagel. She has a 4.16 GPA, a starter on the tennis team for the Wolves, and helps provide free tennis lessons for a nonprofit.
All Hardee's Scholar athletes have the opportunity to compete for a $5,000 scholarship to be awarded at the end of the season.
Welcome back. The injured Daniel Boone player was Henry Hamlin, the linebacker. He did walk off the field. 3rd and 11. Frazier under pressure, backpedaling, throws it up, out of bounds. Incomplete. That'll be 4th and 11 now. The punt team on, and Jeremy Jenkins.
So how can you not like that effort from the defense? I mean, in the second half, as good as they were in the first half, in the second half, they've just absolutely shut down West Ridge. They haven't been able to get anything going on offense, and that was where the game was going to be won. I talked about it on the first drive. West Ridge's offense versus Daniel Boone's defense, and Boone has won that easily.
So another punt. Has been a busy night for Caden Puck for West Ridge. This one, a low one, is going to go dead at the 25-yard line. That's where Daniel Boone's offense will take over again. A running clock here. New this year, the mercy rule in the second half of a game is now 30 points rather than 35. So we'll see this Daniel Boone offense, and 9 minutes to go. Daniel Boone will return home next week to host Cherokee in their first region game. And West Ridge will hit the road for the first time next year, and they're going to go to Science Hill. Luke Jenkins still in there at quarterback. Looks like we got a new tailback, though. That is number 1, Jesse Barnes. Oh, I'm sorry, that is for West Ridge. Number 1 for Daniel Boone is Jackson Young.
And a nice run by Young. I mean, he hit the hole, broke a couple of tackles, and got the first down.
We have a West Ridge player down. That is number 1, Jesse Barnes. We'll be right back. You're watching Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
I've worked at Summers Taylor now 14 years. I started right out of high school as a laborer, worked my way up. What I love about this line of work is that hard work really does pay off. If you're willing to work hard, you can start at the bottom, work your way up to the top. Summers Taylor has great pay, great benefits, 401k. At Summers Taylor, our employees are definitely our number 1 asset.
Join our team today. Scan the QR code or visit summerstaylor.com to apply.
At Bank of Tennessee, it's our job to help you focus on the happy moments. and check off the things on your to-do list to pull it all off, like finding the perfect soil mixture, the right pots, and a healthy inventory. So you can wonder what they'll think of the displays, and if your green thumb will leave its mark on the community. We're here along the way, so you can pull off the happiest moments in life. Bank of Tennessee, in the business of happiness.
Welcome back to West Ridge High School. Have a brief injury timeout for Jesse Barnes of West Ridge, able to walk off the field there. See him on the sidelines. Jackson Young got in his first carry of the game for Daniel Boone, and he's going to be back in the backfield. Appear that Aiden Reiner, his night will be done. The starting running back for the Trailblazers. Jackson Young, a junior tailback. Going to get another carry. He's going to fight for about 1 yard.
And Casey, you know, we talked about this. Neither one of us really expected this game to be this much of a lopsided game. When you look at the rankings coming into this, West Ridge was number 5 in our WCYB Top 5 Tuesday rankings. Daniel Boone was the number 2 team in those rankings. West Ridge was also getting votes in the AP poll for Class 6A. Daniel Boone was the number 10 team in Class 5A. I would expect Boone, you know, depending on what happens in the rest of the state, to maybe move up in those rankings.
Daniel Boone clearly the favorite, I believe, in Region 1 5A, as Young breaks through and just gets tripped up. But he had a lot of room in front of him there if he did not get tripped up. Jackson Young running hard here. Of course, Daniel Boone in Region 1 5A, it's Boone, David Crockett, Tennessee High, Cherokee, and I believe one of the Morristown schools.
Yeah, Morristown West is the other school. And what's really interesting is that Boone won this region last year, even though they didn't have a winning record in the regular season. They won when it counted in the region games. And if you look at these teams, the team that they're going to have to get past, as it seems like it always comes down to, is their rivals Crockett.
West Ridge's defense there drops Young for a loss. That'll bring up 4th down. Yeah, last year, as you mentioned, Heather, Daniel Boone actually finished with a record of 5 and 6, but they did make it to the second round of the playoffs. Certainly this year, they have the makings of a team that could win 8, 9, maybe even 10 games in the regular season. The way they're looking early in the season here. I mean, obviously they do play Science Hill coming up in the non-district portion of their schedule as well later on. That's always a big rivalry. Got a punt here by Shrewsbury. All right, that ball is going to be down. It's time for our Toyota drive of the game. This is going to be Aiden Reiner here with starting off with a little bit of a short run, and then Luke Jenkins is going to throw it deep here to Landon Kirkpatrick, Heather.
Yeah, and really, I mean, busted coverage and broken tackles. But he made some athletic moves on that. I mean, the cutback here to get free and go to the middle for the finish off this drive, really an impressive quick strike for the offense.
That is your Toyota drive of the game. Well, Daniel Boone in this one, they're on top 33-0. We do have a timeout here. That was, I believe, Daniel Boone. They called a timeout. Their first one of the second half.
We talked a little bit about Daniel Boone and their region that they play in. For West Ridge, they've got Dobbins-Bennett, Science Hill, Jeffco, Morristown East, and William Blount. The last several years, it's really come down to the 3 teams in our area, Dobbins-Bennett, Science Hill, and West Ridge. So the important thing for West Ridge, who finished second in this region last year after getting off to kind of a slow start, playing a lot of games on the road early in the season. The thing for them is going to be refocus. As Daniel Boone proved last year, you do not have to win every game to win your region. You just have to win the right games. So they need to put this game behind them and start focusing on their region play, which begins next week at Science Hill, and then they go to Dobbins-Bennett the next week. So a couple of huge games coming up in the next couple of weeks for West Ridge and their playoff hopes.
I just want to say on this graphic here, the Cherokee game was moved. This was just announced yesterday. Daniel Boone moved that to September the 3rd, Saturday, 12 o'clock. Their lights not ready to go yet. At Daniel Boone, David Crockett having the same issue. They're playing a home game tonight against Letcher County Central out of Kentucky at Unicoi County. Last week, David Crockett had played a home game at Sullivan East. And we were told yesterday that their home game in 2 weeks against Dobyns-Bennett is going to be played at Dobyns-Bennett.
And it's interesting how the two teams have taken a little bit of a different approach as to how they deal with these lighting problems. Boone has decided to play their games on Saturday afternoon. Crockett has decided they'd rather play on Friday night and just bounce around and forego the home part of their schedule.
All right, we got this offense. A new quarterback is in the game for West Ridge. Bryson Horn, the junior, number 12, is in a quarterback for West Ridge. So some backups on both sides of the ball getting in here. And Horn is a junior.
Well, you just saw a couple of guys. They were not big injuries, but a helmet to the back, maybe a cramp or a twisted ankle. You don't want to get guys hurt in this part of the game. Go ahead, clear your bench, give some of your younger guys the opportunity to show what they've got. You may need them later in the year to contribute.
3rd and 7, under 5 minutes remaining in this one. Got a handoff up the middle for West Ridge. Number 5, Chase Gill, the junior, getting a first down for West Ridge.
Good positive momentum for West Ridge is what we talked about. Get something going, get something that you can build on for next week because, as I just mentioned, some huge games coming up for them.
As a Pals sudden service first down, maybe quite a few students probably going to Pals after this game.
Maybe they'll see John Fulkerson there.
They might. Another run for Gill. He's fighting forward for about 4 yards for West Ridge. Of course, we got college football starting next week. Tennessee, ETSU both playing on Thursday next week. Tennessee's got Ball State and ETSU playing Morris Hill. Both going to be big favorites in those games to open the season. Gill, another carry, and Daniel Boone's defense with another tackle for loss.
Yeah, you've also got Tusculum and Wise playing on Thursday, and I love the fact that Tusculum, Wise, and Emory are now all in the same conference. All the local teams getting to play each other. It's so great for the football community here in East Tennessee and Southwest Virginia.
Yeah, the South Atlantic Conference. There's Jeremy Jenkins. We'll have an extra day of prep for next week's first region game against Cherokee. Gill, he's been running hard. Another Pals sudden service first down for Chase Gill, the junior, 5'8", 165 pounds.
And I know they're not playing against Daniel Boone's first team defense here, but maybe they found something in Gill. I mean, he's been able to break off some really nice runs and move the ball late in the game.
We're under 3 minutes to go, but you know now Daniel Boone doesn't want to lose this shutout streak here. Gill fighting, breaking a couple tackles, and runs into a wall, but not till he picks up 9 yards.
Another big chunk of yardage, positive momentum for West Ridge.
2:35 to go. This game, certainly with the running clock, just hit the 2 hour and 5 minute mark of game time. There were some games around the area that had lightning delays tonight or late starts, but thankfully the Blountville area here missed all the rain. We were watching pregame. There was some, we could see down towards the Johnson City, Greene County area, some very dark clouds and a little bit of lightning we saw earlier, but thankfully not where we are, as Gill this time loses 2 yards.
Casey, I'm very jealous of the game that you get to watch next week on Friday Night Rivals. Twin Springs and Holston, 2 playoff teams last year. It's going to be an outstanding game. Twin Springs, one of the up-and-coming teams in our area. A lot of young players, a lot of just juniors on that team and sophomores going up against a Holston team that's been the class of the small school division in our area for a long time.
Yeah, Holston's gone to the state semifinals in Class 1 each of the last 2 seasons. Twin Springs lost in the region semifinals last year to Patrick Henry. It's Daniel Boone defense looking good to keep that shutout streak going here. It's going to be 4th down now. Yeah, that should be a good game. Possibly could be a region championship preview game, perhaps. So certainly, you know, Patrick Henry would have something to say about that. Maybe Chilhowie as well there. So it will be fun to be in Southwest Virginia next week. Both of those teams, of course, starting their season tonight. Holston was at Eastern Montgomery tonight, and Twin Springs was at home against Northwood. Haven't seen any scores of either one of those games, but we've never been to Damascus before at Holston, so looking forward to that next week. 4th and 2 here. Horn's going to throw it. We've got a flag down. It's complete, but we'll see what the flag is.
It's in the vicinity of holding. as much time as he had to throw that ball, I would think that would be it.
Holding offense 54, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, replay 4th down.
Well, Heather, I think the last penalty of the night, you got that one right there. So you're going out on top because I don't think we'll see another flag with the clock moving.
And Jeremy Jenkins is happy about that.
At 30 seconds and counting. The ball's moved back to the 50-yard line.
You know, I'll just say that this game is not representative of what West Ridge is. They've got a lot of talent, a lot of speed. They are going against an elite defense in Daniel Boone, but there are much better games to come for the Wolves.
All right, barring a penalty, this will be the final play of the game. It's going to be quarterback keep by Horn. And the officials like trying to get out of the way. It's the last thing he wants to do is get taken out on the final play of the game. And that is the final play of the game. Daniel Boone. All Trailblazers tonight, they win 33-0 over West Ridge. Dominant performance in all facets of the game for Daniel Boone, other than maybe some penalties, but certainly a 2-0 start, and they have pitched 2 shutouts so far. We will hear from the Trailblazers coming up after this. Final score, 33-0. Daniel Boone on Toyota's Friday Night Rivals.
Tonight's School Spotlight is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer.
So West Ridge is a combination of Sullivan South, Sullivan Central, and Sullivan North. We combined all these kids into one building, and I like to think now that we've got the best of the best all in one spot. Your aperture measured in f-stops. That is inside. You have some aperture blades. They open and close. The wider they open, naturally more light's going to come in. Moving over from the professional world of television to teaching is a big jump for me anyway, but the students have made it kind of easy. They're eager to learn. They seem to enjoy the subject, and I like seeing their creativity. I've had some very shy kids come in here, and once they interact with each other, by the end of the class, they're pretty good friends with each other. They know how to go up to somebody, conduct an interview like this. They know how to talk to somebody. When they get out of here, I hope they take with them an eye for details, just an extra sense of creativity that they can incorporate with just anything that they go into. We try to be creative in here. We like to have fun. I hope their time management is a little better. Like I said, when I sign a project on Monday, I want it by Friday. What you do in that middle time there is up to you, but I better have something of substance on Friday.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. We have 800 used cars in stock as low as $6,000. And at Friendship, you get a lifetime warranty and a 7-day any reason exchange on new and used vehicles. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
The right way to top a sub is with real red wine vinegar made from red grapes and no food coloring. And the right way to film it is in slow motion. Obviously. Because authentic ingredients make a sub above.
The Twin Springs Titans versus the Holston Cavaliers. Friday at 7 on News 5 WCYB. Toyota's Friday Night Rivals, presented by Holston Medical Group.
Life can be a lot sometimes, but at Holston Medical Group, our primary care providers are here through it all, whether it be a routine checkup or something unexpected. Because at HMG, we're here for you through every stage of life with the best primary care and support. Whether it's you or the people you love most, choose a primary care provider you can rely on. Choose HMG, your health partner for life. Now accepting new patients.
All trophies and plaques for WCYB's Friday Night Rivals are provided by Eddie's Trophies and Gift Shop in Bristol. Eddie's Trophies also offers medals, plaques, acrylics, glass, and crystal pieces for your business, school, or sports team. That's Eddie's Trophy and Gift Shop online at eddiestrophies.com.
News 5 and Hardee's are honoring outstanding students who are making a difference both inside and outside the classroom by showcasing their achievements. Email your suggestions to 5starstudent@wcyb.com.
Hey, Dustin here with my favorite dog, Tucker, to show you these great deals at Friendship. Don't dare pay over MSRP. At Friendship, we have 200 new vehicles with a lifetime warranty. Make this the summer event at Friendship Jeep of Bristol. Nobody beats Friendship. We're dealing.
Welcome back to West Ridge. All Daniel Boone tonight, winning 33-0 over West Ridge. We have Jeremy Jenkins now, the head coach of the Trailblazers, as we're back here in the broadcast booth. And Coach, you guys have now outscored your two opponents 59-0 so far this season. Back-to-back shutouts. How proud are you of your defense?
Great. You know, our kids, we preach that, you know, going in, you know, they can't win if they don't score, and that's 8 straight quarters for us. Our kids have really bought in on that side of the ball and really playing at a really high level.
Coach, you are now 2-0 on Rivals as well. The second one of those trophies you get to put in your trophy case. What is it about this team that they seem to show up in the big moments?
Well, you know, we try to put our kids in a lot of pressure situations and practice-wise to get them ready for moments like this. And, you know, we don't care if you all do every game for us because we seem to come out on the right part every time you guys show up.
Coach, in both games so far this season, offense, defense, special teams have scored in both games. How rare is that? Has that ever happened for you before?
I don't think so. That's the first time we've scored in all 3 phases in both games in a row. You know, Mikey has 2 safeties in a row. We have a pick 6 by Brogan. And then offensively, you know, we've done enough stuff, especially the play to start the second half with the reverse. You know, that was something we game planned, put in there, and I thought it was a really good job. Our coaches did a good job. Our kids executed that really well.
So, Coach, how important was the momentum that you guys had at the end of last year feeding into this year? Because you didn't have, like, an amazing regular season, but you got hot at the end of the year, and it seems to have just pushed into this year.
Yeah, you know, and we had a really good offseason. You know, last year, the playoff run, and then going to the offseason, and Coach Connor getting our kids ready, you know, all summer long. And then, you know, coming out, and you got 21 seniors, and you got 19 juniors, you got 40 upperclassmen. You know, you're supposed to be, you know, one of the better teams with a lot of leadership. And a lot of our kids, especially our senior class, is doing a great job of that.
Coach, before you hand the trophy to your players, Rylan Trout is right beside you there. Now, he was taken down at the 1-yard line that first play. Is he going to get some crap on film for going down at the 1-yard line there?
Yeah, he's soft. Got pulled down at the 1-yard line. Couldn't finish the drive.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Hand that trophy to your guys, and congratulations. All right, Daniel Boone with the Friday Night Rivals trophy. 2-0 now on Friday Night Rivals, and well-deserved, well-earned win for the Trailblazers. They have a heck of a football team, Heather, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in Region 1 5A. Final thoughts, Heather?
Well, Daniel Boone just stepped up to the occasion, as Coach said. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on this team, a lot of expectation coming up against a West Ridge team that put up a ton of points last week. They were able to hold them out of the end zone and prove why they have such high expectations.
All right, let's take a moment to thank all the wonderful folks at Toyota, Holston Medical Group, Friendship Automotive, Food City, Hardee's, Pals, Bank of Tennessee, the Tennessee Army National Guard, Jersey Mike's, and Eddie's Trophies. Without all the sponsors, we could not do this. Again, thank you to Daniel Boone and our host, West Ridge. Anthony Richardson, everybody here at West Ridge was very, very welcoming today. Thank you for a great night. We're going to see you next week on News 5 WCYB as Twin Springs travels to Holston. You can watch this game tomorrow on a replay, Saturday, 1:30 on the Tri-City CW. For our wonderful crew and Heather Williams, I'm Casey Ketz. Good night from West Ridge.